two, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2. Let me check my levels. Let me check my levels. Let me check my levels. Okay. That's good. That is good. What's going on here? Raphie needs some more RAM for his PC. Okay. Okay. Where's my face? Where is... Oh, there we got some face. We got a bit of face. What's going on? What's going on? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, let me crunk up the music. Feel like a change today. Feel like going back to. I feel like going back to something old school. Where are we? Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear the music. It's going to take you a few seconds to respond. Gonna take you a few seconds to respond. If you hear the music, let me know. If you hear the music, let me know. Okay. Okay, cool. Right. Where are we? Okay. So, smash the like button as you enter. If you would be so kind. Okay, let me take care of some business. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Now look at this here. Look in the description button. Look in the description box. The whole damn thing is there. The whole damn thing is there. Everything's there. And I was prepared. I made a copy of everything so that I could just switch it over. Just confirm to me. Confirm in the chat that when you look in the description box, the whole damn thing is there. It's filled. Remember last time on Monday when the description box was empty? And now that I do it and make a copy of it, it's all there. What the hell? It's mad. It's mad. So I went through all that rigmarole. All that Hey, this StreamYard is taking the mickey, mate. It's taking the mickey. But anyway, let me sit comfortable. Let me sit comfortably. Okay, so let's get into this. Music is good. Okay, good. Everything's situated. Everything looks right. Everything the link is in the description box. Everything seems to be appropriate and correct. Okay. So that's all good. Okay. So where are we? You are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie. Look at this. Look at this. That's the old title. Tonight, 9:50. I think I'm going to rectify that as we speak. I believe this is. Let me go check. Let me check. Boom, boom, boom. I believe this is, what is that? That's 53, that's 54. So this is, wonder if I can change this on the fly. Wonder if I can change this on the fly as we are live. I'm gonna try. Boxing Talk with Raphie. Trying some crazy stuff here, folks. Boxing Talk with Raphie 55. Editing shizzle as we go. Editing shizzle as we go. Just got to get these formalities in place before we commence properly. Paste 55. Okay, so save that. Boxing Talk with Raphie 55. Chisora. Okay, let's tidy that up a little bit. Save that. Okay, we are good. We are good and we are ready to commence. I'm just going to refresh this thing here. Doing a lot of shizzle. Okay, wicked, refreshed, and it is correct. And if you're wondering why it's important for me to get these things right, then it's all about visibility. It's all about visibility. If people can't see the thing, then they can't see the thing. Yeah, so that's why I take time to get certain things right. So this thing shows up in the analytics, etc., etc. Okay, so let's commence with the thing. First of all, let me have a look at this thing in StreamYard. Boxing Talk with Raphie. Okay, all looks good. Okay, so roll call. Roll call. Let's see who's in here. Okay, so we got Kieran Betts. Ain't seen Kieran in a while. Good to have you back, Kieran. Thought you forgot about us, mate. I thought you had forgotten about us. You're back. Yo, good. Real good. Real good, Kieran. Real good. Okay, we got the Pedmeister. We got the Big Boys Boxing. We got the Red Glove Militant in the building from across the seas. What am I looking at here? Okay. Okay, it's a sea of blue. It's a sea of blue. You know something I just remembered? Still here, brother, just being busy. Hey, I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. I hear you. This show started like about a couple minutes after I put the last morsel of my evening meal to my lips. The last morsel, you know, and then boom, cranked up the engine, started up the warp drive, and you know the rest. But first and foremost, let me put the link. Life just happens. First and foremost, let me put the link in the chat. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so there it is. Link is in the chat right there. Okay, so yeah, everything looks nice. Everything looks nice. And Rocket Reggie, boom. Rocket Reggie is back. Okay. Right. So, first and foremost. Uh-oh. Sorry to hear that. Red Glove Militant. Okay. So, first and foremost, I have to say what was on my mind. And what was on my mind was, it's something I read the other day. This is not a topic. It's just something. This is not a topic. It's just something that was on my mind, came to mind. I read the other day. Yeah, I read the other day that 75, if you are, where are we? Okay, if you have a roof over your head and you don't have to struggle for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a plate in front of you. You're better off than 75, and you don't struggle too much with your bills. You don't struggle too much with your bills. You can pay your bills. So I repeat, if you have a roof over your head, you get 3 square meals a day, and you can afford your bills, then you are better off than 75% of the world's population. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. If you have 3 square meals per day, have a roof over your head, and you can afford to pay your bills, you are better off than 75% of the world's population. I can't remember where I read that, so I can't provide the source. I can look it up again. You can look it up. So let that sink in, folks. Let that sink in. We take too many things for granted. Yeah, we take too many things for granted. Better off than most with just a roof. Yeah. So, you know, it's just something where I read the other day and I've been meaning to say it. I've been meaning to say it and I haven't got around to saying it. I forgot to say it, but it came back to me today. You know, I was doing some shopping, some food shopping. And, you know, everything I wanted, I could afford. Everything I wanted, I could afford. And I said to myself, I thought to myself, damn, I remember back in the dizzy. When, at the time when things were a struggle. Things were a struggle. And I look to now, after years and years of laying down foundations, years and years of laying down foundations and getting things in order. I look to now and, you know, I can afford the things that I need. Not to say I can buy everything I want. I can't, but I can afford everything that I need. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you just have to be thankful. We have to be thankful for the roof over our heads, for the food on our plate, and every time we can afford to pay that damn electric bill, the light, the gas bill, the water rates. You know, shouldn't take shizzle for granted. Let's not take shizzle for granted. Let's appreciate everything good that we have. That was very much something that I had to share. Now, one day you are here on this earth has been promised to you. So treat every day as if it were your last day. Where am I? Let me show that. As if your last day, and every breath as if it were the same. Sung by Kiwi Band The Splint or Blind Spot. Yeah, 100%. Tomorrow is promised. I'll give you another verse. I'll give you another verse from a Jamaican band. Tomorrow is promised to no man. It's a biblical verse. Tomorrow is promised to no man. Ped with the joke. Ped comes in with the Ped comes in with the joke. Okay, so, and the reason we're gonna get onto the boxing in a minute. We're gonna get onto the boxing in a minute. But one of the people among us, one of the good people among us, has had a situation in his family where a close relation has come down with a terminal illness. So, I guess that puts things into perspective. When times like that, when you appreciate family, friends, air we breathe. Life is an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. It's an opportunity. Tomorrow is promised to absolutely nobody. So, it's important to remember that. Do not take shizzle for granted. Don't do that. Do not do that. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate what you have. Don't overlook shizzle. Don't do that. Okay, so, and now, positive messages, positive wishes go out to the man, our friend on here from Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio, who shall remain nameless, but positive wishes go out to him and his family. I know he's feeling in a rough way when a loved one comes down with a terminal illness. You know, it's going to be rough. There ain't no doubt about it. But anyway, all we can do is send out positive energy and wish for the best. Okay, so that being said, we move on. Blessed to you and your family. And now we move on. On with the show. It is a boxing talk with Raphie. It is not the philosopher's hour, but sometimes I can't help but get philosophical. That's just me. That's who I am. Unapologetically philosophical. But now we move on. On with the show, as they say. The show must go on. Okay, so what we're dealing with today. What are we looking at today? Okay, cool. Okay, I know exactly where we're going to start. I know exactly where we are going to start. Okay, so where are we? What are we looking? What's this looking like? What is this looking like? Okay, so we're looking at the B sample. We're looking at the B sample. There was an article out today. There was a video out today produced by a very popular YouTuber. And I check out his stuff. Hard worker, bangs them out, gets that product out there on a regular basis. Now, he said that I think he may have got it wrong this time. You may have got it wrong this time, but I don't know. I shouldn't color the thing. I should let you come. I should let you come to your own conclusions. So I shouldn't color the thing. So okay. So a video was released saying that Spong, Tyrone Spong, saying that Tyrone Spong's B sample has been returned, has come back, and it's come back as clear. Now, and the interesting thing was that the YouTuber was kind enough to leave a link for the article from which the story came from. Yeah. There. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So right. So the article from which the story came was left in the chat. But the only problem was when I pulled up the article. Let's see if I still got it. Oh, I do. Huh. That's more through luck than judgment. More through luck than judgment. Okay, so when I pulled up the article, let me share this. Let me share this. Where are we? Okay, and also let me just close down this. Let me just mute this thing. Mute messages. Mind you, I probably shouldn't do that in case I do get a message. Okay, so here we are. This is the article that was cited in support of the argument that Spong's B test had come back negative or clear. It says, Spong says, I tested clean. Tyrone Spong in legal action over alleged manipulation. Hold on a second. Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right, so we got that. We're going to share again. Okay, so here's the article. So, Tyrone Spong became the latest fighter to be flagged for a big matchroom show. Flagged before a big matchroom show, as the Dutchman tested positive under VADA procedures. The former kickboxer returned an adverse finding. Spong joins the likes of Miller, Billy Joe Saunders, in being dropped late from a the Zone main event. Spong has now hit back. He believes a conspiracy for Usyk to face an alternative and a lesser threat was the reason for the change. Now, here's the key line. Here's the key line. The 34-year-old says independent testing came back negative. So I'm not having a go at the YouTuber concerned, not far from it, not at all. I enjoy his stuff. But you see, the problem is, I don't know if you see the problem, but I see the problem. The problem for me with this is that the statement in no way at any point says that the B sample was tested and returned negative. So it's a strange leap of faith. And also bearing in mind how long it often takes the B sample to get tested. It's a bit of a leap of faith for me. It's a strange leap of faith to assume that this statement right here, the 34-year-old says independent testing came back negative. It's a strange leap of faith for me to think that sentence, that statement means that the B sample has come back. That doesn't imply to me that the B sample has come back at all. To me, it means that, well, maybe he had some, or rather the governing body, the organization. As a matter of fact, I know exactly what it probably means. To me, it means that his prior tests have come back negative. But I don't see any way in how this means that the B sample has been returned negative. What say you? It's a big thing. I don't understand it. I don't understand how this means that the B sample is returned negative, and you go through the whole, and you follow on. You come to this sentence. I have asked for testing of the B sample at a laboratory. I have asked for testing of the B sample at a laboratory of my choosing. Okay, that's all good. That's all good. But nowhere in the article does it say that the B samples have been tested and they have been returned message. Okay, let me take care of this fool. Where is he? Where is he? Where is this imbecile? are you? Where are? There you are. There you go. Sayonara. Ciao. Hasta la vista, baby. And damn, I gave the imbecile another chance and he's still acting like a fool. So what can I do? If the imbecile acts like a fool, what can you say? What can I say? Other than hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista. Oh dear. Oh dear. So we got rid of one idiot. We got rid of the first idiot for the evening. Okay. Let's see how we go. And he was actually resurrected. He was resurrected. I thought, yeah, second chance, but no. Just the same old troll. Same old idiot. Never mind. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so the link is in the chat. Let me see what kind of response we have for this, because it seems, hey, somebody's got some more information that I've overlooked. Feel free to pass it to me. But as far as I can see, applying my logic, nowhere in that does it say the B sample came back clean. So it's kind of a strange thing for me. I've done a video on it. Feel free to check that out later. Nah, that guy, nah, he's never been on live. That dude, that fool, never been on live. He's just some previously banned guy. Just some previously banned guy. He's never been on live. Never been on live. But I thought I'd give him a chance. Killed him off the other day, and I thought, hold on a sec, let's give him another chance. So resurrected him by pressing a few buttons, and he made some statement where he named a narcotic, an illegal substance by name. And I thought, you know what, try and keep this thing clean, so I'll get rid of it. You know, just a normal tidying up process. And he comes out, oh, Raphie, you deleted my comment, as if he said anything of any type of significance. And he got deleted. No, you're totally insignificant. Just talking about some kind of drug, some kind of illegal substance. Get out of here. So I deleted it, and he's acting as if he said something of substance and he got deleted. No, nothing at all. In fact, I don't even think he was. Yeah, anyway, he's gone. Too much foolishness. Raphie cannot abide. He's gone to the graveyard. Sent him to the graveyard. Okay, so where are we? Right. Spong sent someone else's urine for independent testing. He can't send his B sample to an independent testing agency. That's not how it works. He's desperately trying to cover it up. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the B sample. I mean, I don't understand the logic. I don't understand the logic of what he's saying. I don't understand the logic. Well, what he does with his neck is he leans his head back. He rolls his trap forward and then leans his head back, and and makes his neck look even thicker than it actually is. When it is a fair sized diameter, one must confess. One must confess. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand why someone's saying the B sample came back negative or positive. I mean, clean. It just makes no sense whatsoever. The B sample has not come back clean. He's talking about previous tests. So it makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. Cheats never prosper. I wish the world were that clear cut. Unfortunately, sometimes cheats do prosper, in my opinion. Unfortunately, they do. And sometimes good guys finish last. I don't know if that's scientifically proven, though. Leighton Evelyn in the building. Yeah, they can do it quick. They can do it quick. But I don't think they've done it in this instance. There has been no independent confirmation of any B sample being tested, much less coming back clear. I am inclined to think that. Yeah, he probably put a sample in a beaker or in a tube, and then dug out his old Bunsen burner, swirled it around a little bit, and said, "Yep, this is clear. This is clear. It's gone transparent. Add a bit of water. It's transparent. It's clear. We're all good." Yeah, well, like I said from day one, like I said from the get-go, day dot, because I've been following this guy for what, in excess of 10 years? In excess of 10 years. Remember, I wasn't even following boxing back then. You know, I switched from boxing and went over to, during the Klitschko era, and went over to mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, the mixed martial arts. I was training in those components. Excuse me. I was training in those components, so I was seeing Spong, you know, doing his kickboxing thing in Holland, Dutch kickboxers, and he was a middleweight. He was a light guy. And all of a sudden, well, not sudden, he started moving up. He made a decision he wanted to be a heavyweight. And started moving up from middleweight to light heavyweight to heavyweight. And also, if you study the thing, you'll see that the almost the consistency. Nah, he's never been on live. Nah, he wouldn't come on. Yeah, so Georgie Porgy in the building. Yeah, so I saw, and if you look at the consistency of his body, sometimes he looked very ripped, and sometimes he looked soft, but roughly round about the same weight, you know? During the fight phase. We're not talking about different phases of training. We're talking about during the fight phase. So, you know, I'm not one to try and sling mud. You know, I don't like to do that. And it's innocent until proven guilty. But I'm afraid to say, with the weight change and what the significant weight change, you know, I'm afraid to say there are certain indications. And I think, and I'm not really throwing mud, because I mean, the guy's just come back with an adverse finding. So I think I can be a little bit more forthright. I think I can be forthright in what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that, you know, the guy went up multiple weight classes. And whilst that is not proof of anything, it certainly makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Okay, so clomiphene is a masking agent. It's some kind of fertility thing, or some drug, some substance taken by pregnant women. So I guess it's not fertility if the woman's already pregnant. But yeah, it's some drug taken by pregnant women, clomiphene. And as I understand it, it is a masking in men. If it's found in a man, then it is generally understood to be a masking agent. Yes, Georgie Porgy, thumbs up, gang in the building. Good to have you, Georgie. In VADA, we trust. Junior in the building. James Lee says it doesn't really matter. His new opponent isn't much better. Well, let me tell you something. In terms of skill-wise, or in terms of threat to Usyk, Alexander Usyk, I think his new opponent is, let's just say, subpar. Link in the chat. Indeed, mad people perpetrating, says DJ Joji Poji. Yeah, in comparison to his new opponent, oh gosh, I'd rather see him. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they'd rather see him fight Spong rather than his new opponent, who we'll get to very, very shortly. Just going through some of the comments in the comment section right about now. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the music? I don't want to be selfish with it. Big boys boxing, the building.
How you going, man?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Good of you to join. I can hear the birds tweeting out there. You got a budgie?
No, I'm just standing out on my front step. It's just nature.
I can hear nature, man. That's good. It's the night time over here, so the birds have gone to sleep. They're in the trees. They're not making a sound. But we got the night sounds of nature from New Zealand, brought to you courtesy of Big Boys Boxing. Everything good over there, Big Boys?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, what do you reckon to this? This notion on the evidence that you have that the B sample is clear? On the evidence presented.
Well, until I hear it from VADA that the B sample is clear, I'm not believing a thing that comes out of Spong's mouth. He's in damage control mode at the moment, so official confirmation is the only way that I'll be letting him off the hook.
Yeah. But you see, excuse me. But you see, the bizarre thing to me is that I've read the article several times. I've gone over it several times. And at nowhere in the article does he appear to say that the B sample has come back clean. What he says is, what does he say? He says independent testing came back negative.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything if it's not a VADA-approved agency.
Exactly. Exactamundo. So I'm at a total loss as to how that statement, independent testing came back negative, could be translated as the B sample came back clean. I am totally perplexed.
Well, I guess to a degree, he does have supporters that he's brought over from his exemplary kickboxing career. I mean, I've had guys jump on my channel and they're like fanboys, some of them.
Yeah.
So there's guys out there that are going to jump at everything that's going to clear Spong's name. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah. But very highly bizarre when they're saying the article. Well, allegations have been made that even the man himself has not said. So it's actually not Spong. Let's be clear. Spong at no point said his B sample came back clear. It's other people who are saying it. Highly.
Probably comes from his promoter.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, it's people who are interpreting it, interpreting what he said in that way.
Yeah. Well, there could also be some mix-ups with translation from Dutch to English as well. So.
Yeah.
Don't know.
For real. Let me just scroll down a little bit. James, are you James Sutherland? Are you in the back room waiting to get on? Is that you? I see somebody called James. Who's James?
You can always let him in, and then if you don't want him on, you can let him out.
Let him in and then let him out. I just want to do some. I just want to check the CV first. No, not me. Yeah, James. This James who is in the back room. Could you write something in the chat so we can see who you are? Just some provisional, what do they call it in America? Let's see your resume. Post up your CV. Who are you, James? It's not James Sutherland. Who is this James? Who is this James? Do we know you? Just post up something in the chat, James, so we can see who we're letting in. Who is it? Yes, AD in the building. Junior, getting a bit of RD. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio in before hitting the deck. Just finished. Let me know, anybody, when James announces himself. Because I'm further up in the chat, so I can't see what he writes until I get down there. K1. Well, you see, let's be clear about this. K1. When you watch K1, I mean, I was a little bit naive back in the day when I was watching K1. I was thinking, how come, especially Jerome Lebonaire, or I think that's how you pronounce his name, Jerome Lebonaire. My God, that guy was James Lee. Okay. Hello, James.
Hello, am I on?
Hello, James. I hear you. Hello, James. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
How's the other fella as well? Sydney.
Not too bad, thank you.
The New Zealand guy.
How
are you doing, mate?
Call me Jono. Not too bad, thank you.
Yeah, so what's popping, James?
I was just saying, it's clearly something to do with Eddie Hearn. He's clearly seen that Usyk's not ready. That's why he got cancelled last time.
Yeah, hold on. Not yet, Leighton. Not yet. We're still talking. We're still talking to James at the moment, Leighton. Let me just drop this down a little bit. Yeah, carry on, James.
I was saying it's very clear to see that Usyk really isn't ready for the heavyweight division. That's why I think they've swapped it up and gone for a less than stellar new opposition.
Less than stellar new opposition. Okay, I hear that argument. I've heard that argument. So you think you're effectively saying, James, that you're effectively saying that you believe that
I think Eddie's fixed
Eddie
it.
Hearn has
Eddie
Eddie
Hearn-
got some kind of influence with VADA, you reckon?
I think he's got influences everywhere. I think he's got his tentacles all over the place.
So effectively, James, to be clear,
Yeah.
I need to be clear. I need you to be clear about what you're saying. To be clear.
What I'm saying is that's what it's.
No, hold on. So what my understanding is that you're saying that Eddie Hearn has somehow got what's his name? Spong's sample contaminated. So it's come back with a false positive.
Not so much that, as in I believe that his second cancel got cleared, didn't it? He got cleared the second time. But as everyone can see, it was very, very quickly announced that he was fighting someone else. Now, surely Eddie had a contact somewhere.
Hold on, what got cancelled? What got cancelled?
The fight, because he was meant to fight Spong, and now he's fighting Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, Witherspoon. Yeah.
And it was in what 24 hours that the fight got changed over.
It was.
Now, surely Eddie knew someone that in there that clearly could tell him the B sample.
Hold on.
He hasn't passed the B sample though.
Are you going
before it come out? He hadn't it.
Are you going under the misapprehension that he's passed the B sample?
Yeah.
Nah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. I'm asking the question: why are people saying that he's passed the B sample when he hasn't officially passed the B sample? People are going off a video was made today by a very big channel saying that Spong has passed his B sample.
I know the one you're talking about, isn't it? And that's why I watched that one. I thought he was an incredible guy.
Oh yeah, well he is. This is what I want to make it clear. I'm not rubbishing. Did he do it as well? Well, it's another guy that I saw.
Yeah.
It's another guy that I saw. I'm not in any way trying to impugn either of the guys that I've seen. Or the one guy. I think you've mixed up the guy's name. It's Icons, but it's not boxing.
Sorry. Sporting Icons.
Okay.
That's the one, isn't it? Sorry about that.
I didn't really want to put anybody's name out there, but anyway, okay, it's out now. But you see, the thing is that I read, because he left the source, he left the article. I clicked on the article, and in no place does it say from any official body that he's passed the B sample. And I'll go further. He himself doesn't say he's passed the B sample. What he actually says is that he's found his sample. He's been found clear by independent testers. But that has nothing to do with the B sample. And also, it doesn't give us a timestamp of when he was found clear. Clearly, logic dictates that he was found clear prior to the taking of the B sample.
What would make sense to me is he's got this adverse finding in the A sample, and he's gone and done his own test with a separate agency that's not VADA approved to warrant whether he's going to pay to have his B sample opened, because he has to pay for it.
Yeah, indeed. So whatever was tested, it was not the B sample. Leighton Evelyn, come on in.
What's going on, Raph?
Leighton Evelyn, how you doing, mate?
I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. And listening to this, there's no way that Eddie would have took him on with a fight if the B sample was tested positive, tested negative. No chance. No chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you got some background noise there, real Leighton?
Yeah.
Would you kill that?
Yeah. How's that?
Yeah, man, that's cool, mate. Yeah, so no way that Eddie would have allowed this thing to go, would have called it off if he was clear, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's too much money, Raph. No chance
Yeah.
at all, mate.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah. All right. Come in, James. Counter, James.
That's why I think he was meant to fight Carlos Takam, wasn't he? And then he injured his hand.
Yes.
But then it came out that Carlos Takam would wait. But then that never surfaced. And what really happened? Who knows?
Hold on. What did you say about Carlos Takam?
He was meant to fight Carlos Takam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Usyk got injured.
Then Usyk got injured his hand, didn't he? He broke his
arm.
hand.
His arm. Bicep.
Bicep tear.
Yeah, that's the one. And then Carlos Takam was meant to then wait, wasn't he? He was saying he was going to wait.
Yeah.
And then no one really knows what happened after that.
No, I do know what happened.
Yeah. Carlos Takam signed with another promoter, so Eddie Hearn took him out of the running.
That's right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Surely Eddie could have brought someone better than these two in there. Tyron Spong.
Tyron Spong was lively, mate. He was lively.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot better. There's Dave Allen. There's David Price. There's
you're saying Dave Allen and Dave Price when everyone says they're garbage would have been good enough. If ever you would have put them on, they would have been murdered. You would have been murdered.
No.
Well, see, Spong's based in America, so it made sense for him to get an American-based opponent at the very least. Tyron Spong is unbeaten, even though he hasn't fought anybody. So, and he has that huge kickboxing background, so a lot of people already know who he is. I can see the marketing behind it. It made sense to a degree, but I really would have liked to have seen somebody better, like a Alexander Povetkin or a Carlos Takam or something like that.
Well,
I think Usyk is ready. Or Jarrell Miller even. Yeah.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
You're not going to put faith in him after all the drugs he's had in him. No chance.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I mean, if Eddie puts Jarrell Big Baby Miller on immediately after what's happened, immediately that he's available, I think he would come in for a hell of a lot of flack. Let's go around the table. Hold on. Let me get some order now. Okay, let's do this orderly. So that's my proposition. Let's phrase the question then. Could Eddie Hearn reintroduce Big Baby Miller so quickly after Miller's misadventures? First of all, I'm going to Big Boys Boxing.
I mean, he could, but like you say, he's going to cop a lot of flack. And on a big show where Usyk is the main event, he's got a lot of money invested in it, and it doesn't really make sense to take that risk that quickly after, because he could have done a Spong.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time that Eddie Hearn's had to have backups in place. He had to have them in place for Kubrat Pulev. Mm-hmm. He's had to have them in place for Dereck Chisora, which has just happened. So I'm disappointed in the new opponent for sure, but it is what it is. On 6 days' notice, who's going to take the fight? And I've said it in the past, I think there's a lot of guys at the top of the division who are discrediting Usyk because they don't want to go anywhere near him. They could get made to look very bad. So tough to find a decent opponent for him.
For real. Next, we're going to go to James. Your response to that.
I take it in consideration. I take everything he said in consideration there, but I just think there's someone better altogether. There's loads of people. He could have fought Joe Joyce, Oscar Rivas. He could have come straight out of his last camp, gone straight into another one.
Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is with Frank Warren. I know
they don't get along, but
is Frank Warren going to release Joe Joyce?
He's busy anyway. He's
He's
mandated
busy.
to fight Marco Huck.
Yeah.
But that'd be. I'm just saying, even before Spong and whatever, she should have been someone better. Because if, correct me if I'm wrong, but because he's fighting the next fight after this one, and he's having a world title. It'd be a world title challenge fight.
That's the
mandatory, whatever it is.
That's the schedule.
Yeah, so you can't release him with put some fella that's barely fought anyone any good against him, and then expect him to then go on and fight the best. Really.
Well, I mean,
I find it a bit strange.
Well, Usyk himself, I mean, he's got a team himself, so obviously, you know, they would have consulted. Hearn would have consulted with his team, and they would have worked together as a team in order to decide on who Usyk was comfortable fighting. So clearly, Usyk has never expressed any displeasure about the opponent, the chosen opponent. So we have to imagine that Usyk was on board with the challenge from Spong.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Though. Over to, I mean, on your, in favor of your argument. I mean, I understand, and but perhaps Usyk, who has sparred with other heavyweights, who I think, did he fight heavyweights in the amateurs? You know, so he's not unfamiliar. He's sparred with. Didn't he used to spar with Klitschko, Vladimir?
He did. Yeah, and there's sparring stories out there that he gave Vladimir Klitschko hell in sparring, but nobody was allowed to video it for good reason. He did fight heavyweights in the amateurs or the semi-pros as well. He fought Joe Joyce, Junior Farr. He beat them both in the World Series of Boxing. So he's dipped his toes in heavyweights before.
Yeah.
It's nothing new to him.
He's a big guy anyway. He's 6'3", so he's not small.
No, he's not small at all. So I think that in relation to your argument, yeah, I see the argument. However, he's not unfamiliar with fighting with heavyweights and sparring with heavyweights, and I think they just wanted to shake off some cobwebs. I think he's comfortable fighting heavyweights, and he just wanted to shake. This fight was just to shake off some whatever cobwebs, or just loosen up, or just get a feel in a competitive match with a heavyweight. Really didn't really matter which heavyweight, it seems to me. Leighton Evelyn. How you doing? Are you good to talk? Are you free to talk? Leighton Evelyn, are you free to talk? Okay, maybe Leighton's busy and he will come back when he is available. Okay, so 1 second here. Let me just look in the chat here. Yeah, Big Boys Boxing. Do you want to expand a little bit while I go through the chat? Do you want to expand about this this low key opponent? You want to, does he need to be fighting a higher ranked opponent to get in his first fight back in heavyweights?
I definitely think so. I think somebody with a bit more height, like somebody over 6'5", would be good. Tyrone Spong was below par for me, just due to his lack of experience in boxing against elite heavyweight boxers. But I do think there are issues with getting Alexander Usyk fights. I mean, there's guys that would definitely hop on the ring with him. Yeah. You know, guys like Dereck Chisora and Philip Hrgovic and Jarrell Miller, maybe. A few guys that aren't afraid to take it L. But I don't know. we mustn't forget that he's only co-promoted by Eddie Hearn as well, so he's not the only one to blame for this. He's also promoted by K1, which is the Klitschko promotional company. So I don't know, man. I think he's possibly going to get another fight after this one before his mandatory shot anyway, because from what I'm hearing, the IBF are pushing to have theirs first anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a tune-up for now to dip his toes in as a pro, as a heavyweight. And maybe he's going to have a fight that would more prepare him for a shot against whoever's going to win on December 7th, because we don't know that yet either. So we'll see.
I think it will be probably his next fight anyway, because Eddie won't want to lose the belt. Because if Ruiz beats Joshua, then he goes along on it, and then Joshua, whatever. So I think he probably will win the next one.
Okay.
He knows as well as I do. Everyone knows. You know, Ruiz versus Usyk, there's only one winner there, and
Who's that winner?
it's Usyk. that's a hard one.
Hold on.
Careful now. That's
Hold
what
on.
we all said about Ruiz against Joshua.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. You telling me that when Usyk fights Ruiz, if Usyk fights Ruiz, the only winner is going to be Usyk?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Ruiz fights like he's more like a cruiserweight anyway. The way he's smaller, fast hands. You know.
Yeah.
Even though he might have to.
Yeah.
He can't slip or whatever. He's kind of agile. He's got it. He fights like a cruiserweight.
Right.
Usyk's got every single cruiserweight in the whole division.
So who did you have winning? Who did you have winning the fight of Joshua versus Ruiz?
I had Joshua like 99% of the population, but
Yeah.
I saw the problems with the Dereck fight like everyone else did, and you gloss over it with glossy paint, and then you realise he's really not too good against the smaller people.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like your confidence that only Usyk can win versus Ruiz, but my friend, I don't share that confidence because this is heavyweight boxing, and anything can happen. And we haven't even seen Usyk of late in the heavyweights.
Yeah, I suppose we've got to see how he steps up.
Yeah, so anything can happen. Anything can happen is what I'm saying. As far as Usyk's next fight, I think he's going to have this fight.
Usyk fought Bellew, didn't he? And Bellew was a heavyweight. He fought in heavyweights, didn't he? He fought against Hay.
Yeah, but Bellew was a light heavyweight, cruiserweight. You know, he could go up to heavyweight. I think Bellew was a cruiser. That's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah.
So my assessment is that Usyk, yes, I agree. First of all, Leighton Evelyn, are you there yet? Okay, Leighton Evelyn. Okay, I'm gonna drop him out, and then if when he's free to come back, he can come back. Leighton Evelyn, are you there? Leighton Evelyn, are you there? Okay. If he comes back, you'll write in the chat that he's back. Okay, so my overall assessment is that yes, like most people, I would have thought he would have gone up for a gun-in. Usyk would have gone in for a higher level, higher caliber opponent. But I understand why they took a lesser level opponent. And I also understand why they've gone for an even less, but I don't agree with them going for an even lesser level opponent than Spong, but they have done, and I think that it's clear that in the Usyk's camp, they just want to run out. They just want a run out, pure and simple. In addition to that, I don't think the next fight that Usyk has at heavyweight will be for the belt. Like Big Boys has said, the IBF are pressing. The IBF are pressing for to the stream. The IBF are pressing for their kill your background noise, Leighton, please. Kill your background noise, Leighton. The IBF the IBF are pressing for their mandatory to go first. Their mandatory is Pulev, Kubrak Pulev. So I think that Usyk is going to have another fight at heavyweight before he fights for the belt, before he becomes or he exercises the WBO mandatory. Leighton Evelyn, come in, my friend.
Can you hear me now, Raph?
I can hear you, mate. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I missed out earlier was when he was saying about an opponent, and he said Jared Miller. And it's like, if Eddie would have chosen him, he would have been the biggest hypocrite in boxing. So there's no way he could have chosen him.
He wouldn't have looked good. He wouldn't have looked good. I don't think he could have chosen him. I don't think he could have chosen him.
No, that's what I'm saying. But the same thing, when he said Usyk, I think Usyk's the best out there, mate. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's the best out there. When everyone thinks he's not tried and tested at heavyweight, I think he's got the skills. I think he's got the skills and he'll do it easy. I'm telling you, mate.
You like?
But he hasn't been tested. He hasn't been tested, like you said, in the heavyweight division. But he's got the skills, mate. He's got the skills. Skills pay bills. So I mean, Raph?
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying. I totally understand. But we still got to see him, though. We still got to see him.
Yeah,
we still got to have a look at him.
But I just got faith. I just got a feeling that this man is the one that no one wants to fight. When he gets there, I think he's gonna clean up. I think he's gonna clean up. Whether he can take the power of the big boys.
Usyk is the golden child.
That's what I say. That's what I say, mate. 100%.
Usyk is the golden child. Okay, so I guess it's on me now to my position on that. I don't know. I really don't know. He's a skillful guy, but this is the heavyweights. I'm gonna reserve my opinion on where he sits until I see him. I just want to see him at heavyweight. Seen him at cruiser. I just want to see him at heavyweight. I just want to take a look at him, see how he functions, see how he performs in there. This is not a big test. Spong wasn't going to be a big test.
No.
And so I think that leads me to my next question. So, and this is for Big Boys Boxing. Big Boys Boxing, do you know anything about this guy? Well, first of all, let me tell the people what's going on. So it has been revealed. I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. So it has been revealed that Tyrone Spong's next opponent, and I'm going to screen share also. Tyrone Spong's next opponent is a fella who goes by the name of, where is he? There he is. By the name of Chazz Witherspoon. Chazz Witherspoon. If you haven't seen my video on this topic, then feel free to go ahead and do so after the show. Not during, after. So who is Chazz Witherspoon? Well, Chazz Witherspoon is something like 38 wins, 3 losses. I think his career seemed to come to an impasse, or seemed to stall, seemed to kind of stop in a sense as far as any high-level aspirations were concerned when he got beat by Molina. Was it Eric Molina? Molina, like 10 years ago. He is the second cousin of Tim Witherspoon. And he has had, 2 fights in the last 3 years. Or 3 fights in the last 3 years. Something like that. 2 fights in the last 3 years or 3 fights in the last 3 years. He won those fights, but they were all low-level fights. That's the story. What does he say here? That's the story of Chazz Witherspoon. So, okay, let's go around the table. Big Boys Boxing, Chazz Witherspoon as the opponent for Usyk. How do you feel?
Extremely disappointed. I saw an article yesterday that said they were having a sit down to talk about a potential fight, and then it was a few hours later it was confirmed. Chazz Witherspoon is a guy who beats low-level gatekeepers like Nick Weavers, Michael Marone, these sorts of guys. But as soon as he steps up to a world-level fight, like his first loss against Chris Arreola, he gets knocked out. Later on, a year later, he took on Tony Thompson. He got knocked out. Then he took on Seth Mitchell.
Where's Tony Thompson from? UK?
Tony Thompson's American.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then Seth Mitchell.
Then Seth Mitchell he took on. At the time, he was undefeated prospect, and he got knocked out. So I don't have much hope for this guy. To be fair, I did know of him, but I thought he'd stopped boxing. Just due to the level of his opponents, they don't get televised anywhere or anything like that. So I'm extremely surprised they pulled this guy out of semi-retirement. Yeah, I think maybe this fight's going to last 4 or 5 rounds tops. You know, it'll be a matter of Usyk having a bit of a feel-out process, maybe trying to feel a bit of power, seeing how quick the opponent is, and then he'll start pouring it on in round 3, and it won't be long after that it's going to be over. So it'll be a run out, and that's it. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and I think James, you are of the same mind. You're not impressed with this replacement, James? Oh,
if you look on his thing, though, he has had 29 knockouts, so he's clearly got some power.
Yeah, but knocking out who?
Against lower rank.
He's still got to punch him and knock him out still.
Oh, of course, yeah. Every heavyweight has a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can write him off as much as everyone believes. I think.
You don't think what? Sorry.
I don't think you can write him off.
Okay.
As much as you think. It's more like a 99.5, isn't it? It's not that 0.5. It's not even a 1%. It's more like a 0.5%.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. And Leighton Evelyn, your final words on this topic.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a shocking opponent. Shocking. Never heard of him. Never known that.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Man, James, you sound a bit like Tony Bellew, who's been smoking for 20 years. You're from Liverpool, there, bud.
Nah, that's the complete opposite. Wrong direction. London, I'm from.
Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong guy.
You're talking about Leighton. You're talking about Leighton Evelyn.
Talking about Leighton, sorry.
Wales, mate.
You're talking about Leighton Evelyn.
No, Witherspoon. Leighton Orient, what his name is. Sorry. He's from Wales.
Who's from Wales?
Leighton.
How do you know?
Leighton Evelyn.
How do you know?
Accent.
Sorry?
His accent.
Oh, okay. Leighton, is that right? You're from Wales, mate? Okay. Can't hear Leighton again. Leighton, you got sound issues there, mate. You got sound issues there. Okay. So we've covered that topic, I believe. Leighton's back. Leighton? Okay. Leighton's gone again. Okay. So let us move on. Let me move on and let's see what is the next topic for discussion. Okay, so it's going to be Chisora, isn't it? It's going to be Chisora. So Dereck Chisora has found an opponent, or an opponent has been found for Dereck Chisora. And I was hoping that his opponent would be, I was hoping that Parker would, I thought Parker would be the man to step in. That was my prediction. And sure enough, Parker? No, not Parker. Pricey. I was thinking Pricey would be the one to step in. I was worried that they'd dig somebody up like a Chazz Witherspoon, but no, they've gone for they've gone for Pricey. People saying no, it can't be Pricey because Pricey's supposed to fight on a Liverpool card. I said no. Pricey is getting ready for a fight. It's a short notice thing. I think Pricey will be ready, and Pricey it is. Big David Price. So the question is, how do we see that fight going? I mean, for me, you've got the hooker. You got the hooker in Chisora versus the long 6'9" rangy guy who was being touted as the replacement for Lennox Lewis in the UK. Didn't quite work out that way. Kept on getting knocked out. But in his last fight, we saw how he could fight, how he can fight.
Shades of Ali.
Shades of Ali. Shades of Ali. We saw it. We saw it with our very eyes. Kept it long, kept it rangy. And I must confess, I did very much enjoy that fight. Let's not forget, Pricey almost took Povetkin out. He almost took Povetkin out before getting taken out himself. Pricey can hit. People just focus on the fact of him getting knocked out, but he can knock out as well. He can knock out his opponents. And so can Dereck Chisora. That's what makes it such a, for me, a very, very, I'm happy with the matchup. Let's go around in reverse order this time, and we're going to start off with Leighton Evelyn. Leighton Evelyn, are you receiving? Okay, can't hear a word. So moving swiftly on. James, what is your assessment of this fight?
I think it's a brilliant matchup, to be honest. Absolutely top draw. I think they're both very much on the same level. There's nothing that can really split them. It's just sort of come down to who does it on the day, I think. I couldn't pick between them.
Yeah. So you like the matchup. You like the matchup.
Yeah, I do favour. I said that, but in my back of my head, I think Chisora's got it. I think he's got it.
What's your percentage split?
55, 45. It's nothing more than that.
Okay, so that's tight. Big boys boxing.
Yeah, man, it's a fun fight. It's a fun fight, and like we discussed when we were talking about it, I think David Price is the best replacement because he's marketable in the UK. He's got a big punch. He's coming off a good win. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. It's definitely going to carry that Taylor Prograve fight for the card, and that's what Eddie needed for this heavyweight belt. But as for who wins, I'm definitely favouring Chisora here. He's got a superior pressure game, and we've seen in the past whenever David Price is under extreme pressure, he gasses out. So I don't think Price is going to be able to deal with it for too long, more than 4 or 5 rounds. So if he's going to win, he's going to have to knock Dereck Chisora out in the early rounds. But like you've all been saying, David Price can hit, and he seems to have been working on using his jab a lot more. If he can keep Dereck Chisora out all night and tag him at length, then he's got a chance. But I think that pressure is the key. So I'm giving Pricey a 30% chance of winning that fight.
30% chance of winning the fight for Pricey. And so by my calculations, you have Dereck Chisora as the 70% favorite.
Correct.
John D. Lee.
Hi, Raphie. How you doing?
How you doing, matey? Long time no hear from you. What you been giving the channel a cold shoulder, mate? What's going on?
Oh, that's a bit harsh. I was in the chat on Monday, Raphie.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about live. You don't want to spend your time with us live, John. What's going on, mate? What's going on?
I was in on Wednesday.
You weren't here on Wednesday,
I
were you?
was. Yeah, I was.
7 days ago.
Yeah.
Were you? Damn.
Yeah.
Time just seems to fly by so fast when you're doing this chisel. I'm just pulling your leg, John. How are you? You in good spirits? Everything good on your end?
I'm a very happy man.
Why are you very happy?
The topic we're on now.
Oh, okay. Well, go for it, John. Get in it, mate. Get in there.
I was so pleased that Pricey pulled it out of the bag against Allen.
Yeah, me too.
I like Pricey, and I think a lot of people forget his skills. If he's fit, if he comes in at a sensible weight, around, well, let's see him at around 17, as close to 17 stone as he can get. He beat Fury in the amateurs. He's a very skillful guy.
A lot of people don't know that.
Fury did a runner from him from the British title.
Tell us that story. Tell us that story. You've told it before, but I like it. Tell that story again.
Everybody likes that. All of a sudden, Tyson Fury decided he was an Irishman.
No, I mean, take it back a bit. He was supposed to.
They were mandated to fight for the British title.
Yeah. Listen carefully, folks. Tyson Fury and David Price were mandated to fight for the British heavyweight title.
And I'm pretty certain at the time Tyson was actually the belt holder, wasn't he? And he dropped it to avoid Pricey, and he suddenly turned up in Ireland and became Irish heavyweight champion.
Facts.
And everybody, like the second Fury fight against Dereck, when Dereck was younger, didn't go very well for Dereck.
Yeah, didn't go very well. The second.
No. I've got it as a genuine 50-50 fight. And I think it depends on which version of both of them turn up in the ring. If we're really lucky and we've got a motivated Dereck and a fit Pricey, we could have a pound burner.
That's what I'm thinking. This fight has the potential to be a very, very pleasing British clash.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to both make some money. Neither of them are going to be world champion, are they? But they're popular. Yeah. I want to watch them. I'm happy to pay 20 quid to watch them have a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And interesting, good point there, folks. Don't forget the PayPal button. Hit the PayPal button because we want to get that fight on PPV here. We want to do a stream on that, and also obviously, you know, I want to go to the. I think you guys want me to go to the Benjamin Button Ben fight. Nigel Benjamin Button Ben. So, you know, don't be shy to hit that PayPal button for the price of a beer. You can have me at the Nigel Ben show and also have the pay-per-view here live on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. So that's in the description box. Feel free to use that if you have the means to do so. Yeah, John, anything else?
It's only a quick question about Nigel's fight. How much is it?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm thinking, well, it can't be more than 50 quid, can it, for a ticket?
I don't think he'll get many bums on seats if it's any more than that, surely.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, I'm thinking £50 range.
It's the NEC, isn't it?
It's actually Resorts World.
Okay.
Well, NEC Resorts World, are they connected?
I don't know enough about it. I'll have to
I know where Resorts World is. I used to pass by there frequently, so I know where that is. That's cool. Well, I know where the NEC is as well. But NEC Resorts World, yeah, I think they might be connected. NEC, I think Resorts World is just a little kind of entertainment spot off the NEC. So yeah, because they have concerts at the NEC and then people pop over to Resorts World. Yeah, I think they're connected. And so who has spoken on this? Has everybody Big Boys has spoken on it? James has spoken on it. Yeah, I think it's just me. Yeah, I think I've already spoken on it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy it was made. I'm happy it's not a Chazz Witherspoon. I'm happy it's a credible opponent. David Price is a credible opponent. Okay, so what's your percentage split, John Dealey?
I've got at the moment, before they get on the scales, I've got it at 50-50.
Yeah.
If Price's belly's hanging over his shorts when they step on that scale, I might change it.
Yeah.
But a fit Price will give Dereck a good run for his money.
I do believe so. And so I think we've concluded that topic. Let me go over to YouTube and see what else we have. I don't know. I think I might leave that one for last. We may as well talk about it. It's not on the list, but it's a logical thing to discuss. Clarissa Shields. It's reputed that her brother. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that message. That's wicked. Oh, and the tickets are from £50, 80 pence. Damn, that's the cheapest tickets. I had a feeling that the chick tickets weren't going to be particularly cheap. That's the cheapest ticket, folks. £50, 80 pence. If you want to get Raphie on the road, you know where the PayPal button is. It's in the description box. It's a one-touch thing. Okay, so Clarissa Shields, a sister, got into some kind of verbal sparring match with the trainer of, what's his name? Is Mr. Bashir.
Ali James
Bashir. And he was assaulted, hospitalized, broken bones in the face. And the suspect is the brother of the sister of who was in the middle of a verbal altercation with Mr. Ali James Bashir, who is the trainer of the lady, Clarissa Shields' opponent. I think her name is something like Ivana something. My bad, Ivana. So Mr. Bashir was hospitalized as a result of the assault, and it's believed to be a sucker attack, a sneak attack, a sucker punch. Mr. Bashir is 71 years of age, and the alleged assailant, the perpetrator, the brother of Clarissa Shields. What's his name? Artist Mac. Artist Mac, I think his name is. He's 24. Artist Mac has a criminal record for two convictions for carrying illegal weapons and another conviction for assault. Who are we going to start off with here? Let's start off with Big Boys Boxing.
So apparently Ali Bashir's back in hospital with a brain bleed, from what I hear. So that's not good news.
No.
But the altercation itself, it was words being exchanged between Bashir and
the sister.
There was no hands laid on anybody.
Nope.
And then this coward comes up behind him.
Yep.
And takes him out. Takes out a 71-year-old man.
Yep.
Who's got his back to him. What a freaking coward.
Yep.
I can understand trying to defend your family, but that's not how you do it. That's just cowardism.
Yeah.
at its worst. And Clarissa Shields not really taking any kind of responsibility for it, being her brother. I'm sure something had been said. She would have known something was going to happen. But, you know, she's pretty much separating herself from it. So I don't like that either. But it's happened now, and hopefully the guy ends up in jail. That's where he deserves to be. And Habazin
do you think he should go to jail for the assault?
It should be more than assault, grievous bodily harm, attempted murder.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, if you attack a 70-year-old from behind, then what else could it be?
Yeah. It can't be just simple assault. And the consequences, the dude could die, for God's sake. If he does, then it should be second-degree murder.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So this is serious shit, man.
Yeah. And
I don't think the dude realizes it.
It kind of defies belief that somebody would assault a 70-year-old would put fists on a 70-year-old, but from behind.
Yeah.
From behind.
Disgusting.
I mean, it defies belief. I've heard people justifying it, big boys.
Are you kidding me?
No, I've heard people say, well, you know, he's running his mouth. Don't run your mouth unless you're prepared to deal with the consequences.
So in Flint, Michigan, if you have an argument with somebody, you've got to watch your back for the rest of your life because you're going to get... you know, what a freaking joke, man.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, OMG. OMG. James, he's just got one. He's like Elvis. He's just got one name.
Yeah. Well, I think we just got to wait, really. I've nothing much to say. Just got to wait and see what comes out and see what happens.
No, I'm asking for your opinion on the situation.
That's what I'm saying. I think my opinion is I'll wait, I'll see what comes out, see what actually did happen. So it was released, and then you can really comment on it. But I'll comment on it properly.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I guess the video that's out there doesn't show the punch, so it's only hearsay that it was a sucker punch. But still, the dude's 71 years old.
Well, we're working on the basis that it was a sucker punch because that's the information that we have. So what I'm saying is that on the basis, I'm asking for opinions on the basis that it was a sucker punch.
It should be exactly what Big Boys Boxing said. It should be, it should be grievous bodily harm and bleed on the brain at 71. That's brain damage.
Yep.
He's not coming back from that. He won't be the same person. I'll tell you that much.
I hope he does come back from that.
71, you're pushing your limits, and then that happens. But so I don't know. We don't know fully.
Okay, James. That was James. Okay, John D. Lee.
Well, the argument started because James Ali Bashir wanted to see Clarissa Shields' weight on the scales.
Yeah. And
that's his role.
And the sister was blocking.
Well, she did a bit more than block. She got right up in his face and tried to stop him looking.
Wow, I didn't see that bit.
Yeah, so that's how the incident has come about. So you've got James, who's there as representative of the opponent to ensure that Clarissa genuinely makes weight.
Yeah.
He's an old man anyway.
Yes, 71.
Yeah, and this young lady, this young lady, for whatever reason, decided to push him out of the way and verbally abuse him.
Wow.
So yeah, he then got into it. He was very angry and probably said things that would have upset a brother if they were saying that about their sister.
Yeah.
But if he has attacked him from behind, I mean, you shouldn't be attacking it. If you're 28 years old, or how old
24,
are you?
24.
24. If you're 24, you shouldn't be attacking a 71-year-old man.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. Now, it is an if. We don't know. There's nothing conclusive about it.
No.
But you shouldn't be attacking him face to face. Let alone sucker punching him from behind.
Yeah.
If it is artist mark, he's already on a parole violation anyway.
Yeah.
So he'll definitely go down.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no photographic evidence of who did it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a man fleeing the scene on camera.
There is a man who looks remarkably like Artist Mac, who is seen lingering around the area, and then at some point he physically bolts to the door and runs out the door.
Yeah. And then he got arrested for whatever reason. So ultimately, whatever else, Clarissa Shields' sister created this situation.
Yes.
By behaving inappropriately to a member of the opponent's team who was going about their proper business.
Lawful, proper business.
And that's ended up costing Clarissa one of her biggest paydays.
Yes.
So it's just a complete disaster. At the end of the day, Clarissa Shields needs to have a good look at her entourage and ensure that she's only got people who know what they're doing and are connected with boxing when she comes to, to go through the process, all the way through the process.
Yeah.
I understand that they're a family, but they should just be sat. There's seats there for them to sit down at. They can support her from a safe distance because obviously they're prone to at least getting into verbal attacks that they have no business getting involved in, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And obviously, for those type of injuries to happen to a 71-year-old man, I think James is probably right.
What you mean he may not?
Well, how is he going to carry on training fighters now?
You mean you don't hold up much hope of him making a full recovery?
I don't think he'll be doing anything too physical in the way of training fighters anymore. You know, and he didn't he work under Manny Stewart?
Sorry?
Didn't he work under Manny Stewart when Jonathan Banks was fighting?
He did. He was his number 2 for years.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of knowledge that's lost to a lot of young boxers, probably, potentially at least.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so, I mean, we've got two diagnoses here that Mr. Ali Bashir, James Bashir, won't be making. What's that clicking sound? There's a clicking sound. There's a clicking sound coming from somewhere. Yeah, okay, that's it. Yeah, so there's an opinion that Mr. James Ali Bashir will not make a full recovery. I hope he does. I hope they manage to quell the bleeding on the brain. However they do that, drain it off, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how that works. But I hope they do, man. I just hope they can get him back right. Bleeding on the brain. I don't know. Is that irrevocable? Can a 71-year-old not come back from that? I hear that. I hear it's very, 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 very. It's bad. But I don't know. I hope. I'm an optimist. I just hope he can come back because, like John Dealey said, that's a lot of knowledge to be wasted. You know what I'm saying? He's a direct lineage from the great Emmanuel Stewart, one of the greatest trainers of our time. And so I hope that knowledge is not lost to us. I hope that knowledge is not lost to us. Okay, let me have a look at the chat for a second. Brooklyn Charles says, Bat is crazy. Wilder's record is exceptional, bro. Wilder's record is exceptional, bro. 41-0-1 draw. 41 KOs. That's pretty good record of me. Yeah, but Brooklyn Child, you have to look at the quality of the opponent, my friend. Brooklyn Child, you have to look at the quality of the opponent, my friend. You know, the quality is just not there, bro. The quality has just not been there. He's only just stepped up recently, like in the last what? Like when he went up against Ortiz, but Ortiz is an unknown quantity. Ortiz, in my book, is an unknown quantity. His best win was 4 years ago, bro. 4 years ago. And now he's locked up over at PBC. Can't even accept fights outside of the PBC without their say. So he turned down $7 million against Joshua. Turned down $7 million against Joshua. So to me, I'm sorry, but Luis Ortiz is an unknown quantity. Big boy.
Stellar resume. Stellar resume. It was only last week Deontay Wilder come out and discredited Alexander Usyk. For me, that's because he doesn't want to fight him.
Yeah.
And also, it's only my opinion. If you take Tyson Fury off Deontay Wilder's resume,
yeah,
Alexander Usyk beats everybody else on there. Stellar resume, huh?
Oh,
well, hey, it's only my opinion.
OMG.
Big boys boxing. Big boys boxing.
Go on.
At the time, Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury. What had Tyson Fury done to justify being ranked in the world top 10? He'd beat Silver Surfer and Francis Pianetta and served a 2-year drug ban.
Yeah, but he had also beaten the lineal champion for over 10 years. He was the first to do so and looked good doing it.
I don't know if I'd agree that he looked good doing it. He did it. He also shouldn't have been allowed to fight because he should have been banned for the use of Nandrolone, which he admitted to.
I agree.
Wasn't the cocaine test after the Klitschko fight? Right?
The cocaine test was after the Klitschko. Yeah.
So fighting Christian Hammer 6 months before fighting Vladimir Klitschko, an athlete will still be receiving the benefits of Nandrolone. We've never actually seen Tyson Fury in that type of shape before or after.
He looked pretty good against Dereck Chisora the second time.
No, I mean the physical condition that he was in.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
He fought a decent fight against Dereck Chisora.
He was in pretty good shape too.
Yeah.
He was in pretty good shape.
He wasn't in bad shape for that fight. But that's my take.
Was that tested? Was that tested? That fight tested?
I don't know, actually.
It probably would have had UCAD testing to be honest, Raphie.
Okay.
I'm happy to believe that the hammer test is around when and if any using happened. I'm also suspicious that potentially Tyson didn't know and that it's Peter's fault, which is why they've fallen out. Because Huey tested for the same substance, didn't he, at the same time?
He did.
So
he did.
I do wonder if that's the actual cause of the rift amongst the Fury clan. Personally, I mean, it's just conjecture. I haven't got anything evidence to support it. It's just very coincidental from my point of view.
So you think that Tyson could have unknowingly?
I don't know about unknowingly, but Peter was in charge of everything. Peter, the way Peter runs his gym, he's in charge of everything, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a control freak.
Yeah.
So
I've seen Peter talk about what was it? Ordering a boar, and they were going to go on a strictly boar diet, but the farmer who he ordered it from didn't get a castrated boar. So they've done their research looking for this excuse.
There's a lot of these situations, Canelo, he's Mexican. Obviously, he's more prone to being subjected to clenbuterol because he's Mexican.
Yeah, but I could understand if if the story was true about the Boar, that Tyson would be upset with Peter for putting him in that situation. But whether it's
I
true or
definitely
not, we'll
don't
never
think
know.
it was true because they didn't use. They admitted guilt at the UCAT hearing. They confessed to the use of nandrolone and didn't dispute it.
Did they?
Yeah, it was, and it was agreed to be a 2-year retrospective ban.
Yeah, it was accepted. They had to accept in order to get the 2-year retrospective ban, retrospective ban. They had to acknowledge usage of the steroid nandrolone.
So would that be admission of guilt, or would that be okay, we've already served our time, so let's just do it that way and get it out of the way?
There had to be an admission of guilt.
In the record books,
Yeah,
that's what it goes down as. He's convicted.
Yeah.
Of the use of nandrolone.
Yeah.
And he hasn't disputed it when it came to the ruling with UCAD.
He's probably not allowed to.
I think you're stretching it
one of the
there.
conditions.
He could definitely dispute it because there's a process involved where you are allowed to have legal representation to dispute their findings, which he chose not to do.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but what I'm getting at is, well, was it just easier for him to admit the guilt because the time's already served? Let's go, it's done and dusted. If he does it that way,
I mean, you could admit to a murder. You could admit to a murder because you've been waiting in jail for the case for 5 years. If they tell you that if you admit to the murder, then you haven't got any extra time to serve. But it's still upon, but it's still upon you whether you want to say you're a murderer or not.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, I think I'm screen sharing. We're talking about the best shape of his life. John Dealey asserted that the best shape of his life was when we saw him against Christian Hammer. You Big Boys Boxing were in the second Chisora fight. And
wasn't saying he was in better shape for that, but he was in pretty damn good shape for that second Chisora fight.
But this is to your point. Yeah. This is supporting your point. And on the screen now, what I'm saying is, what a coincidence that he looked the best he's looked in fights. In fights that are directly next to each other.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is that it looks like they were sick. They were eating that wild boar for a while, mate.
Yeah. Nuts only.
Hey, they was eating that wild boar before the Christian Hammer fight, it seems to me.
Yeah.
Based on the eye test, of course, just the eye test. Because you're both saying that he looked at his best in the two adjacent fights.
Yep.
So, hey, this isn't a court of law, but it's interesting that, you know, he looked at his best in those two fights, which happened directly before and after each other.
Yep. And with that admission of guilt, well, he's always going to have that label of a cheat, isn't he?
Yes. Like I said, you was in court and you pled guilty to murder. James, where are you, James?
I'm still here, mate.
How you doing?
Good. I'm just listening in.
Tyson Fury, wild boar.
I think he's the golden child. The Big Boy Boxing said that Usyk's the golden child. I think he's the golden child.
I know it wasn't Big Boys Boxing who said he was the golden child. That was Leighton Everin.
Oh, that was Leighton Everin. I'm sorry about that. I think Fury's looking top form. His last fight,
top form against low-ranking opponents.
He's a fighter that fights to the.
Not an oxymoron.
He's known for fighting to the level of the fighter.
Why is he fighting the level of fighter that he's fighting, James?
That's him. He's the only one that knows that. He seems to do it in every fight he does. He fights to the level of the fighter he's fighting. You know, he fights.
No, James. I mean, if I may ask you, why is he fighting such low caliber opponents, James?
Oh, mate, that's just because he's got a free fight deal and he takes 2 easy fights and a good fight, and then that's
five
it.
fight
Deal because he's got 2 down. He's having 1 more, and then he'll have Wilder, and then have Wilder again. You know, it's just to round down the fights. It's not that. There's no point risking it all for nothing, is there?
Is that lineal champion type behavior? Is that the type of behavior? Is that the type of behavior you expect to see out of your lineal champion?
Yeah, it's only what Pulev does. It's only what all the top ones that will get their shot. You know, Wilder he'll get his shot with Wilder. So there's no point risking it now if he's gonna get that shot. He's proved himself. He knows his skills. We know his skills. Then we'll see from there.
Is that lineal champion type behavior that we're seeing here? Is this what you expect from a lineal champion? This low caliber fighting opponents?
But he shouldn't be the lineal heavyweight championship anyway. Though he should have lost it when he went out for 2 years.
I agree.
AJ should have been lineal heavyweight champion, and now it should be Ruiz.
James?
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. So, how many times have we seen Tyson Fury display a world best talent based on your statement that he only fights for the level of fighter that he opposes?
3 times, isn't it? 3 times, I'd say.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Well, let him tell you
which
3 times.
Yeah, which 3? Which 3?
I'd say he looks good against Chisora, Klitschko, Wilder. It's the only times he's any good.
Well, Klitschko is a definite. So I agree with that one. Chisora, by the time Tyson fought him, was he really a top 10 world heavyweight?
Not in my book.
It was a domestic level fight.
Yeah.
So he's done it twice at best. And he's had how many fights now? Isn't he on 29? Yeah, he's had 30 fights.
30 fights.
Yeah, he's got 29 wins and 1 draw.
I think it's like all the current heavyweights haven't had, except for AJ. You know, Wilder hasn't really been tested. He's only fought.
Well, that's a separate issue.
I think they're all the same because they wouldn't fight each other. See, no one's fighting each other, and everyone's got the same problem. All their records are terrible.
Well, I think AJ's record's decent.
AJ's got the best record, but
he got comprehensively beaten in his last fight. But out of the top 10, if you look at who's even in the current top 10, he's fought a lot of them.
100%.
So I don't think you can argue against AJ's record. Is he the best? We don't know. He might be done.
He's got the best resume at the heavyweight.
Currently, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
so I'm just curious why you think Fury's a golden child based on 2
Why
top
is
10
Fury the golden child? Why is Fury the golden child?
I think he's the guy that can beat them. Not that I think he's the guy that can beat them. That's why I just do it. I think he'll beat them, and that's why he's the golden child. Just like Leighton thought that Usyk would beat everyone. That's why he thought he'd be the golden child.
I think Usyk is absolute kryptonite for Tyson. Tyson's susceptible to the left hand. It wasn't just against Welling that we've seen that. We've got a super slick, very tricky southpaw. I think, and we know Tyson's power isn't going to worry Usyk because, all right, it's in the World Super Series or whatever they call it, but Usyk so comprehensively beat Joe Joyce. I think that's got to count for something.
Joe Joyce is untested as well. He's
but power-wise and size-wise, because that's what we're saying. Can he transition
Joe
to
Joyce
a heavyweight?
He doesn't punch heavy at all.
I don't want to get that by him.
Joe Joyce doesn't punch heavy.
Not really heavy. Not like a Wilder.
Well,
I think
no, there's not many people who punch like a Wilder.
Or an AG.
I disagree with you all there.
What was that, John? John, what did you say, John?
Well, I'm not convinced that Wilder has the heaviest punch in the heavyweight division, just based on opponents. Well, the only person he's completely put to sleep is Spilker. Now, the other people that have put him to sleep before Wilder put Spilker to sleep, Bryant Jennings completely KO'd him. The amount of people that have common opponents to Wilder who have actually got that opponent out quicker than Wilder has. Yeah, he completely destroyed Brazil, which was very impressive. But Brazil been out of the ring for how long?
I don't know, but is he any good though, Brazil?
Well, also, Brazil's been put down by, I struggle to say his name, Izaguno.
Izaguno, yeah.
Yeah, he got put down by him. Brazil's not made of, he hasn't got a granite chin. Yeah, he took a beating off AJ, and that's what it's based on.
AJ had a flu.
Well,
allegedly, he had a
AJ
flu when he fought
says that he should have stepped on the gas in the second round when he had him hurt, but whatever. Wilder, the only common opponent I'm aware of that Wilder has with another top 10 heavyweight is Brazil. And Wilder, that's the only one that Wilder has a quicker KO.
Molina. Do they have Molina?
No, the only one out of the common opponents that Wilder has a KO is Brazil. Yeah. Right. All the other top 10 heavyweights who have common opponents with Wilder got them out quicker than Wilder did.
Yeah.
And that's including people like Kawanaki.
Yeah.
Who went 12 rounds. No, was it a 10-round fight? He went the distance with Charles Martin and was losing the back end of the fight.
Yeah.
So Kawanaki's not a killer.
No, it was a 10-rounder, yeah.
Yeah, but Kawanaki's no killer, is he?
Yeah, no killer.
No.
Yeah, no killer. He's a cardio guy. He's a cardio guy like Miller.
Yeah, potentially, since training in the same gym with the same help. Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
Any aspersions. I'm just saying.
Potentially, there's just a potential there.
Now, the difference being Kalnaki's enrolled with the WBC's clean boxing program. So,
is he on that?
Oh.
Yeah,
but the amount of testing they actually do isn't high unless you pay them a lot of money. That's the bit that everybody seems to miss.
Oh.
AJ pays them the most money.
Yeah.
And Eddie Hearn is the one spending the money at Varda. That's why people are getting caught.
Well, Anthony Joshua isn't enrolled in the CBP though, is he?
He's not the clean boxing
program
for the WBC.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Was he ranked in the WBC when he was champion?
No, he's not ranked in the WBC, but he enrolled in the clean boxing program at the beginning of this year.
Really? I thought he was holding off until after the rematch. No. I know he's been using VADA.
No. He enrolled in the clean boxing program. They've had a press conference on it early in the year.
Okay.
It was before the Miller fight. It was only this year. He wasn't on it last year.
But doesn't make any sense that he's not on the rankings then.
But before
that was the reason.
I don't think that's the reason he's not in the ranking.
But before that, would he have needed to be in the WBC clean boxing programs if he couldn't be ranked in the WBC clean boxing programs beforehand?
No.
The amount of testing AJ is subjected to is high. Adam's whereabouts is a very stringent testing that they put Olympian gold medalists through.
Yeah.
And there's also UCAD is stringent. UCAD is seriously stringent. I know it's had a bad press lately, but that's partly because it was catching people.
Well, UCAD pulled up Dillian White on an adverse finding, and it was the testing paid for by the AJ side that pulled up that caught up Miller, because AJ was paying for those tests. The caught Miller. And AJ was on 2 different sets of testing. Miller was just on the VADA. But Joshua was on VADA and
UCAD.
Vlad also complained about the amount of testing he had during the fight process. in their fight.
I can understand that from coming from somebody who's never been caught over a 25-year career, but if it gives peace of mind and AJ's going to pay for it, well,
Yeah,
you shouldn't be complaining.
shouldn't be complaining. You just, you should be grateful that you have the opportunity to show yourself as a clean fighter.
Yeah, and grateful that you're getting the opportunity and someone else is paying for it.
Somebody else is picking up the tab. Someone else is picking up the tab.
In Vlad's defense, he made the complaint in the press conference after the fight, and I don't think he was definitely on his best day at that point. He just lost to AJ, so I'll give him a pass because he hasn't moaned about it since. But my point was really just illustrating how heavily Vlad was tested during their fight as well.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to backtrack. I'm just trying to remember how we got to here. What were we talking about?
Brooklyn Child talking about Wilder's resume.
Oh yeah. So I'm just trying to retrace my steps now. So Brooklyn Child was talking about Wilder's resume. I said Wilder's resume was very, very poor. Big Boys Boxing said Wilder's resume was very, very poor. You, John, said Wilder's resume was very, very poor. And then how did we get onto Tyson Fury then? Oh,
I said about Tyson Fury.
What did you say?
I said about Tyson. I said I think he's the guy that's going to beat them all.
Yeah, we were there when I challenged Big Boys Boxing that was Tyson Fury justifying a top 10 position in the world rankings when Wilder fought him. Because in my opinion, 2 years on the couch fighting the Silver Surfer and Francis Pianetta doesn't justify being ranked in the top 10 because you beat Fury 3 years prior.
But I think we had something of this discussion. We had something of this discussion last week, though, or a previous time, because I have said also that Tyson Fury hasn't beat the top 10 opponent for 4 years. And the fact that he was out for 2 years on retirement and or drug suspension, I think it still matters. He hasn't beat the top 10 opponent for 4 years. I think that still has to be looked at. It still has to be acknowledged. Now, instead of fighting a top 10 opponent, the only top 10 opponent that he's fought is Wilder. And he's had five opportunities or 4 other opportunities to fight a top 10 opponent, and he's not elected to do so. He's not elected to do so. So who can I go to? Oh, I've already spoken to James. I know what you're going to say. Big Boys Boxing. He's had 4 opportunities outside of Deontay Wilder to fight a top 10 opponent, and he's elected not to do so. Could you shed some kind of light on that? What's your perspective?
I think it's these
Yeah, Big Boys, can't hear you, my friend. I think I heard the first 2 words and then you've gone silent. Is it your headset? Is it a battery issue? Big Boys Boxing, can't hear you. James.
Yes, mate.
Tyson Fury's had 4 opportunities outside of Deontay Wilder to fight the top 10 opponent. Tyson Fury hasn't beat the top 10 opponent in 4 years.
Beat Wilder.
Sorry?
So he beat Wilder, so that's one right there.
Let's talk seriously. Let's talk seriously.
Like I said, I think he's in it for the money as much as they're all in for the money, and I think that's the way he's getting around.
Let me stop you there. You can't say that. You can't say they're all in it for that. They are all in it for the money, but they are all in it for the money. But some are fighting top 10 opponents, and some are not.
The only people that are fighting top 10 opponents are the people that need the opportunity. They need that fight to get to the top guys.
No,
but Tyson doesn't need that, does he?
No, Joshua's fighting top 10 opponents.
Joshua, I get what you say that, but Wilder done the same thing. When Wilder's done the same thing, and so has Tyson Fury. Joshua has been the difference, I guess, and that's why his resume is better. But that's why he lost. You fight better opponents, you lose, and that's what happens.
But James, can I put something to you, please?
Yeah.
Who generates the most cash in the heavyweight division?
AJ.
Who's got the best resume?
AJ.
Who's fought the most top 10 opponents? You said they're all in it for the money.
They are in it for the money, but
even Floyd Mayweather proved that if you want to become the top guy for money, you have to put the groundwork in and fight the good opponents.
Yeah.
Canelo,
Canelo,
look at his resume.
Yeah.
So if you go the route that they're trying to go with Wilder, he's not generating the money because he's not fighting the opponents. So the interest level in the fight isn't there to generate the cash. Yes, there's a risk you could lose, and that has happened to AJ. Tyson Fury is not a big ticket seller. He doesn't do big pay-per-views, and it's because he's only fought 2 top 10 opponents. And one was against Klitschko, who Raphie dropped out of boxing because the Klitschko era was so boring.
Yes.
Klitschko didn't generate any interest outside of Germany. And the other top 10 opponent is Wilder, who's been in the same predicament himself, not fighting top guys, so he doesn't generate interest either.
Right.
So in my opinion, if you want to chase the money, you have to chase the glory at the same time to get it. You might want to time it right. Sugar Ray Leonard was the best at that. But
AJ did fight a lot of domestic guys. He fought a lot of the people that he fought with a lot of domestic, and that's exactly what Wilder's done. It's just that I think AJ had better domestic fighters to fight.
Yeah, but AJ only did it for how many fights?
He did for a lot less, but
yeah. So if you're going to do it for 30 plus fights, people are going to get tired. But I think there was buzz around Wilder for his first 10, 15 fights as they were building him up because he was knocking everybody out, which is what you want people to do when at that stage. Most of Tyson's knockouts came when he was fighting that level of opponent.
Yeah.
But if you're going to step up and generate the cash, you need to step up the opponent level. When Floyd was starting off, he was knocking over bums for his first 10 fights. That's fine. That's for your first 10 fights.
Yeah.
But once you stop being a prospect, you need to take on the opposition if you want to generate the cash. That's my argument.
Yeah. I completely get it, but at the same time, you can see where it doesn't work though, because now AJ is in such a predicament where he's lost out on the chance of having that fight potentially.
That was one poor matchmaking situation which came about as a result of Big Belly Miller popping dirty. Then they went to Luis Ortiz, and then there was a poor matchmaking decision to go with Ruiz, a short guy who Joshua doesn't tend to favor.
But it's still the biggest fight this year in terms of cash revenue.
And it still turns out to be the biggest fight in terms of cash revenue.
And if he loses, he's not going to go any further, but I'm pretty confident AJ has got enough money now to retire richer than any of us will ever be.
Yeah.
For
the rest of his life. So was it really that bad?
No, it
just wasn't that good. That's the only outcome. In terms of money in his pocket, he's got to be worth 100 mil, just virtually off his purses. I don't know what he's had to pay out since then, but he's got everything else on top of it.
All them like sponsorships he's done as well. You know, he's got JJD and whatever. Or JD, so I say.
Yeah.
He's got 2 20 mil purses after Klitschko. He got 30 for the last Ruiz fight. He's getting at least 30 for this one. So that's 100 mil. So, all right, he's got pay stuff out of that and everything else, but it's probably counteracted by what you're talking about. And I would have thought for most people, 20 million is enough to retire anyway.
Yeah,
Not that bad, is it? Not
I
too
would say
bad.
that's a fair. I'll say that's a fair pension cushion there. Big boys boxing. Have you rejoined us?
I have.
Yeah,
Apologies for that.
we couldn't hear you for a while. I don't know what happened. We couldn't hear you for a while. Yeah, you wanna jump in? We coming to the end of the show. You wanna jump in with some opinions on the Tyson Fury situation? Is Tyson Fury the golden child? Now, before you come in, I'll say this: how can you be the golden child when you don't sell tickets? How can you be the golden child when you don't fight people in the top 10? How the hell is that the definition of a golden child? Big boys boxing.
There's no way he's the golden child. I mean, for me, that's pushing it. I mean, Tyson's a good boxer, and for me, he proved it in his fight against one of the biggest hitters in the world at present. So, he's a legit top 10 for me.
Yes.
He's a legit top 5 for me as well. Yes. But the golden child, hell no.
Hey,
hell
James,
no.
I think you need to go back and watch that Golden Child film again, my friend.
I also don't think
you need to go
I
back.
don't think Usyk is the golden child either.
Yeah, I don't think Usyk.
Who do you think the golden guy is? The guy to beat them all.
Well, listen. You got Tyson. You got Deontay Wilder, who I think. I mean, John and I may differ on this. I think may be the heaviest hitter in the division. That's my position. One punch hitter is Deontay Wilder. I do think that he has a better awareness, spatial awareness than most give him credit for. I think he knows out. I think he's got better spatial awareness in terms of how much distance he needs to do his best work. So he's got a big hammer and he's got spatial awareness, in my opinion. Right. Move over to Ruiz. Ruiz, heavyweight, punches with the speed of a middleweight. If you occupy the middle distance with him, you're gonna have some problems. The way to beat Ruiz is in and out, because he's got slow feet. In and out. Punch him, get out. Get in, get out. It's like some kind of it's like line dancing. You know, you move forward, then you move back. You move forward, then you move back. It's like line dancing.
That was the Parker fight, wasn't it?
Yes. The Parker fight. Okay, right. Pure and simple. So we got 2. That's minus on 2. Who else we got? We got Joshua, who is not now. Joshua got a lot of people back into boxing. Joshua made boxing, certainly in the UK, he brought it back. Joshua brought boxing back. It wasn't Carl Froch. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't Tyson Fury. People didn't care. Let's say it is. People didn't care. He beat Klitschko, who was a dominant, who was the him and his brother, who was along with his brother, were the dominant force in boxing for going on 8 to 10 years. Tyson Fury beat him, and people in the UK did not care. Didn't care. So it didn't register on the wrist. It didn't move the needle. It didn't even move the needle. But let's talk about his attributes. Let's talk about Tyson Fury's attributes. Okay. First of all, he's blessed with one of his best attributes. Is not something that he worked on in the gym. It's something that was genetic. He's a giant. He's a giant. He's 6'9". He's a giant. That's not something he worked on in the gym. I've never raised the question before. And I don't want to raise it now because it's too late in the show. But I will give you this little anecdote. There was a guy called Semi Schiltz. When the Klitschko's kicked me out of boxing for 10 years, I went over to MMA and kickboxing. Now, there was a kickboxer called Semi Schiltz. The man must have been pushing 6'10". And even though he was not technically brilliant, he beat a lot of people. Do you know why? He beat them because he beat them because he knew how to use his 6'10". That's not something he worked on in the gym. And I'm not saying that Tyson Fury is exactly the same as that, because Tyson Fury has been boxing since he was a kid and he has skills. But let's not pretend that this 6'9" doesn't count for nothing. Let's not pretend that that's not a factor. Let's not pretend that if you're a tall, long boxer and you know how to use your length, you have an advantage in length. So I'm not going to get deep into that this time. That's for another show. But Semi Shields was a basic guy.
Did you see Stefan Struve?
Stefan Struve, another guy who was very basic, beat people on length. Yeah, 7 foot. Beat people on length. Yeah? And I'm not saying that that's what Tyson Fury does, but that's a part of it. That's a part of it. So anyway, Tyson Fury. We will get into that another show. Tyson Fury, 6'9", knows how to use his length. Is he particularly athletic? Not necessarily, but he conserves his energy, and he knows how to use his length, and he's been boxing since he was a little boy. So he does have skills. So he's got skills plus length. Plus he knows how to conserve his energy. So we've covered Ruiz. We've covered Wilder. Have we covered Joshua? Oh, no, I haven't covered Josh yet. Okay, so Joshua is the last one in that bunch. Okay, so Joshua. Started boxing when he was 18. All the others, apart from maybe Wilder, him and Wilder started at the same time. 18, both 18. Fine. Joshua. Is he a silky smooth boxer? Absolutely not. I don't even think that he's physically optimally designed for boxing. I think he may have too much muscle for boxing, and in the latter years and latter times, he's too heavy. He's been too heavy for boxing. But what he does do, I think the appeal of Joshua, certainly in the UK, is that he's like just an ordinary guy, physical. It's an ordinary guy, as a physical specimen who excelled in a sport that you normally need to start participating in as a child. So he was always fighting an uphill battle starting at 18, like Wilder. It was an uphill battle, and he made it. When I started watching Joshua, it wasn't because I thought he was going to be a world champ. That wasn't it at all. I never had any particular thoughts on him being a world champ. It's just that they were wanting him to be world champ. They were grooming him to be world champ, and his fights were on TV. Were his fights on TV? I don't know where they were, but I found myself starting to watch his fights. I started to watch his fights, and then fight after fight after fight after fight, he started to get closer. Was it Sky Sports? Okay. So I was watching his fights on Sky Sports, and with no particular aspiration, with no particular thought that he was going to be world champ, because I questioned it. Could a guy who 18, I don't know, really, is he going to be a world champ? But I just watched it anyway, and then he came up with the Charles Martin fight, and a lot of people forget, but a lot of people thought he wasn't going to beat Charles Martin. It wasn't a given that he was going to beat Charles Martin. He was like, oh, he's up against this American southpaw. I think Charles Martin's a southpaw. And we're gonna find out. We're gonna see what Joshua's made of here. There wasn't an overwhelming groundswell of opinion that Joshua was going to beat Charles Martin. We were thinking it was too soon. That was the narrative. It's too soon, but he's got the opportunity, so he's going to take it anyway. And most people were surprised when he got rid of Charles Martin so quickly. So what I'm saying is that Joshua is not spectacular. He's just a guy who started boxing when he was 18, and he got to be a world champ, kind of against the odds. You normally need to start earlier. And then we just enjoyed the ride. He's just got better. He's got certain attributes. He's got a good jab when he decides to use it. He's got heavy hands when he applies them properly. And so I think I think that is the appeal of Joshua. He's not spectacular. He is not spectacular. I don't find him spectacular. But if he harnesses all of his skills in all the different areas, we can get great nights out of him. And we have had great nights out of him. So I think that Wilder has got a spectacular right hand. Ruiz is an anomaly. He's an anomaly. A fat blob who fights as well as he does. Tyson Fury, tall, 6'9", gangly geezer, who has got those, shades of Ali, those bap, 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 that triple jab, bap, bap, bap. So they've all got something. They've all got some kind of special talent. Wilder, the big right hand. Ruiz, the anomaly. Fury, the lanky, gangly geezer who, he's got the triple jab. He's got the triple jab and the feints and all the messing about. You know what I mean? The messing about. All that messing about in the ring. And Joshua there's no shades of Ali there. He's just an ordinary geezer who's athletically built, muscularly built, and who's just piece by piece put it together piece by piece by piece. And he's got heavy hands. I don't even know where I started with this. I don't even know what my point is. Where I'm trying
Who's the golden child, Raphie? That was the question.
Oh, the golden child. Out of them, is there a golden child? Is there a golden child out of the top four in my mind? No. To me, none of them are the golden child. I rate Wilder's right hand. I rate Fury's jab, triple jab and his shuffling. I rate Ruiz as an anomaly. And to be honest with you, the least spectacular out of all of them to me, Joshua is the workman. Joshua is the blue collar man. Joshua is the blue collar fella who just puts it together, just a little bit of this, a little bit of the left, a little bit of the right, bit static, bit upright. He's trying to change that. So really, to me, out of all of them, Joshua's the grafter. Joshua is the one who has to work the hardest for his supper. Joshua is the grafter of the lot. He's the blue collar guy, he's the working class guy. It's not Fury. Joshua is the real working class guy of the lot, despite the fact that he's rich now. And so to me, if you look at my favorite fighter, and Joshua is not my favorite fighter, but if you look at after Ali, my favorite fighter, that guy is Marvin Hagler. Now, why did I fall in love with Marvin Hagler? Well, it was because there's nothing that he did to me that was spectacular, but he just put the different elements together and in a workmanlike fashion. He worked hard, he worked the hardest. He'd run up in Boston or the Catskills, wherever it was in the cold, with the cold sea breeze coming by, wherever that was. And he just grafted. He was a grafter. It wasn't a Sugar Ray Leonard. He didn't slip punches in a sparkling, dazzling way. He just slipped them by a millimeter, let him graze off the side of his head. He was the grafter. He was the blue collar guy. He was the one who worked the hardest for his supper. And I see shades of that, shades of the grafter in Joshua. He's the one who has to work the hardest for his supper.
Can I come in on that?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the current heavyweight situation interesting. There's no clear-cut best guy.
Right, I agree.
And when you look at the 70s, which was definitely when Ali was faded, I know he had great results, but he lost to Ken Norton.
Yep.
He lost to Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
Foreman came along. Foreman wasn't a skillful boxer.
Nope.
destroyed those two and then lost to Ali. I think this is a more similar situation to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no outstanding, fantastic boxer. Whether these guys are as good as those guys, probably not.
Yeah.
But they're all a lot bigger, with
Yep.
the exception of Ruiz.
Ruiz.
I mean, Dillian White's probably bigger than George Foreman, isn't he? And he's small for the current heavyweight.
Mm.
He's 6'3" as well, isn't he? 6'4", I think he's 6'3" and a half.
Same size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that just go, that was the monster. So by comparison, these guys are so much bigger that they may lack in skill what the previous heavyweights had, but I think they all hit a lot harder, which probably makes it more beatable because I don't think chins match the upgrade in power. I don't think it's even possible. Heavyweights, trying to say a heavyweight has a fantastic chin is an oxymoron for me. Muhammad Ali, you might say, had a fantastic chin. He took those off Foreman, but Henry Cooper put him down.
Yeah, Henry.
Look what happened to him as well.
Sorry.
What?
Look what happened to him with his granite chin.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
so you take too many shots, and that's what happens.
But
It's not sustainable.
You don't like Ali, do you? You don't like Ali, do you?
No. I'm saying it's like it's not sustainable having a granite chin in the heavyweight division.
I don't think it's even possible. I don't think anyone really has one.
And if you do, it's not a thing that can really work for you because you're just going to get brain damage. You're just going to
you don't want to prove that you've got a great chin.
Not a heavyweight. Definitely not a heavyweight.
Definitely not a heavyweight.
To be honest, I think this focus on a granite chin is because the welterweight division has been such a focus for such a long time that when you fight in 10-stone men, it's very possible to take their punches on the chin.
Yeah. I was laughing at Sub Skrilla's comment. He goes, AJ brought a new generation of casuals in.
It's not a bad thing. Casuals drive the pay-per-view market.
It's the way that term is used, like casual, like it's almost like an insult. It's.
I think they're bitter that they've spent all this time following a minority sport and they don't want to share.
Yeah. It's like Dillian White said the other day. The hardcore fans are. What did he say about them? It's basically terrible. Miserable. That's not the word. He never said terrible, but he used another word which I can't remember. But that was the effect. They're just almost elitist. It's almost like they don't.
Not almost, Raphie. They're so elitist. I think that's why they want to know the most obscure, lightest boxer and talk about their silky skills that you can possibly find.
It's like they don't want people to enjoy boxing. Some of these so-called elitists. Fans, they don't want people to enjoy boxing. It's like when wine started to come with a screw on top. Yeah, it was always a cork before, and then now wine was coming with the screw on top. You had the wine connoisseurs who said, "Oh no, if it's not got a cork, then it's not proper wine." But scientifically, when they analyze the different wines from the screw top to the cork, it's wine. It's wine. And I think that there's the problem with that we have a problem with certain people who consider themselves somewhat above the common boxing fan. And I reject that. I reject that because it's the common man, the common woman, the common boxing fan that drives this sport. I was tempted to insert an expletive there, but I won't. That drives this sport. So I think John Dealey has hit the nail on the head. It's like there's certain people who thrive on knowing a particular fighter that most people don't know, and feel somehow superior superior as a result of that. But no, I'm with Dillian White. It's like, the boxing fans, they're just the so-called elite. Some of the so-called elite, they're just miserable people who don't want people to enjoy boxing. That's my position. But let's give big boys a chance, John. Let's give big boys a chance. Big boys boxing.
I'd just like to clear up a bit when we were talking about a golden child. I was confused about the definition of that.
Yeah.
A golden child to me means who's worth the most in boxing, not who can beat everybody.
Right.
So I think Tyson Fury could beat everybody. I think Deontay Wilder could beat everybody. I think Philip Hergovic could beat everybody. Tony Yoka could beat everybody. Guys that aren't even there yet.
Yeah.
So for me, the golden child, as in who makes the most money, is still Anthony Joshua, but that situation could be pending.
Yeah.
I don't think Joshua could beat everybody, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, it's possible, but I think it's not as likely as Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder beating everybody.
Right.
But anyways, moving on from that. What were we talking about? Sorry.
What were we talking about?
Oh, casuals, yeah. I'm a casual. Simple as that. I only cover the heavyweight division. I talk a little bit about cruiserweights, light heavyweights down to welterweight.
Right.
That makes me a casual. So,
right.
And so anybody who wants to call me a casual, go ahead. It's not offensive to me.
Yeah, it's not offensive to me neither. Although I feel as if sometimes people want it to be offensive. Some people use it as a term of abuse.
Yeah, it's a way of saying I can piss up higher up the tree than you can. And what?
Yeah. We really need to. I mean, John and I have spoken this already. I mean, I don't even want to talk on it anymore. I'm going to pass it around. Anybody wants to talk on it, because really, to me, some people try to use it as a term of abuse. Yeah. And James, talk on.
I'll say, hopefully I've gave my views as definitely a casual. I'm very young. I don't know. I wasn't around even when Klitschko was really big. I wasn't old enough really to see it then. So, because I'm only 18. See,
you're only 18. Isn't this past your bedtime? Isn't this past your bedtime?
Oh, mate, I got nothing on tomorrow anyway. I got nothing on tomorrow anyway. But so I only really cover the heavyweight division, and I don't know any other divisions other than heavyweights. It's only because I used to watch football and I gave up with that. See, so
me too.
I picked the sport and I picked boxing.
Yeah.
So previous knowledge, I haven't got it. Simply put.
Well, listen, I appreciate the fact that you're not a weirdo. Just anybody who comes on who's not a weirdo, to me, that's like manna from heaven. Because it's got to the stage now when I see somebody I don't know, I automatically think this could potentially be a weirdo. So I'm just glad that you're not a weirdo. John Daly, talk on it, my friend. Talk on it.
Well, for me, I love boxing. I've always loved it.
Yeah.
But I want it to be popular like it used to be. And the only way that can happen is if the heavyweight division is popping, and if all the casuals are engaged in boxing.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, Frank Bruno, he wasn't anything special, but he was loved in the UK. Everybody knew who he was, and everybody knew when he was fighting.
Absolutely.
Mike Tyson was a phenomenon. Mm-hmm. That's why. I mean, you can argue Mike Tyson wasn't that good. Some people get really upset about it, but it put a spotlight on the sport. Everybody knew what was going on. And since the Klitschko era, there's been a focus away from the heavyweight division. And that's when it's descended into this sort of strange, bitter and twisted little clique of people that are trying to out-know other people about obscure stuff. But getting back to the point about sort of top guys at the moment, I actually think Joshua will come out on top because of what you said. He's the workman.
He's the grafter.
But that's all. That's the only reason he got into it. If you listen to him talk, he was supposed to go to the Olympics 2 years ago. He wasn't supposed to go to London.
Yeah.
They only put him into Baku for a bit of experience.
Yeah.
And he got a silver medal.
Yeah.
So he's got something. And for me,
hold on, he got a what? Where?
Silver medal in Baku. Is it Kazakhstan?
Yeah. I got you.
World champs.
Yeah, the world championship.
So that was just to give him a bit of experience as part of his learning journey with a target of getting to Rio. Joshua says himself he didn't really believe any of it until he beat Klitschko. Maybe it didn't do him any good. Maybe that's why we haven't seen as many or we haven't seen a scintillating performance since he beat Klitschko.
Right.
Maybe he needed a loss. Maybe he just needed a boost up the arse. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
But it's fun.
It is.
It's fun at the moment.
It is.
Like whether Deontay Wilder hits the hardest or not doesn't really matter. He's got the ability to land a punch that he puts everything into like a fast bowler. And he can time it and land it, which is a hard thing to do. Whatever anybody else wants to say. The reason nobody else throws punches like that is because it's such a hard thing to do and land. Yeah. And he's got athletic ability. Tyson isn't just tall. He's got a long reach for someone who's high.
Yeah.
So that makes him interesting. Ruiz is interesting. I like Dillian.
Yeah.
Like if you go through the top 10, there's loads of fun fights. They just weren't made.
And the thing that separates them to me, all of those guys, is that there's one guy who's fighting the top guys and the others don't.
Yep. To be fair, Joshua having those 3 bouts, to a degree, he's been forced to fight some better opponents.
That's true.
But he has taken voluntary defenses against top 10 guys as well. So, and other champions.
That's also
which
true.
No other champion in this era has done.
He didn't have to fight Parker, did he?
No, it was voluntary.
And he made multiple offers to Wilder. So he has tried to do what he said he wanted to do, and he's tried to become undisputed.
He's the grafter. He's the grafter.
Yeah, and he's failed so far. I mean, he's got a second chance, and we'll see what happens. But I think Wilder's starting to regret things, to be honest. I think we might actually see Wilder take on another champion soon.
Well, he understands. Wilder understands now. Wilder only started to pick up his level of opponent when he saw that he needed to do so for commercial reasons.
Yeah, making $1 and $2 million a fight, being a world champion isn't cutting it.
He was cutting it. He was cutting it until he looked over the garden fence and saw how Joshua was living.
I think you could own most of Alabama for a couple of billion.
Oh, that's not nice.
So I think where he lives and what he has, where he doesn't live in an expensive part of America, like joking aside. If he lived in California, he'd need a lot more money than he was earning. Yeah,
I just got to chip in there. He's moved to. He's got multiple homes, but he's kind of based now more in Atlanta, which is like a bustling city.
It's not the same as being in LA in terms of real estate.
No. I'm just saying it's a lot different from Alabama. What I'm saying,
it's a step up.
Yeah.
But you can live a very good life on the money that he was making in Atlanta. Of course.
So what I'm saying is that Deontay Wilder. Anybody can disagree, of course. What I'm saying is Deontay Wilder was happy with his 1 and his 2 millions. He was content with that. He thought that was his ceiling. He was bumbling along, as far as we know, quite happily on that. And then he only stepped up. This is my hypothesis. He only stepped up his level of competition in the last 12 months or so. 12 months, yeah, when he fought, 18 months. When he saw that he needed to do so in order to increase his commercial value. in order to increase the percentage split that he could potentially get against an Anthony Joshua. And so I think that's clear and it's cynical. Whereas on the other hand, with Joshua, he just had a quest to fight the best and be the best. Whereas with your Deontay Wilders, that was certainly not the case. With your Tyson Furies, okay, he fought the best in Klitschko, Vladimir. Yes, he did. But he was drugged up at the beginning of the year. He had to fight late on steroids. He had to fight late in the year, still benefiting from the steroids, according to the textbooks, and topped it off with a bit by failing a cocaine test. So he was drugged up in that year, 2014. He was drugged up, and then he retired for 2 years. Some organization that kills lineage, but forget about lineage for now. But he retired for 2 years, comes back because he knew he was going to get a drug ban or whatever, and then he got his retrospective drug ban. So, and then he's come back and he's fought 2 low-hanging fruit, mediocre fighters, and then he's seen something in Wilder, presumably like he did in Klitschko, and said, I could beat him, fought him, got a draw, got knocked down 2 times, which I think has affected his psyche, but that's speculation, and then gone back to fighting low-hanging fruit again. That's not what Joshua's doing. Joshua's the one doing the heavy lifting. So you could argue that he's the one with the least sparkle in terms of talent. Yeah, you could argue that. And would I dispute that? Probably not. He's a grafter. Joshua is a grafter. But we like grafters. My favorite fighter ever was a hell of a grafter. Marvin Hagler. We like grafters. Somebody being a grafter, it's not a problem for me. I like that. That's one of the number one traits I look for in a fighter. Is he a grafter? And he's a grafter. Does he have the silk? Anyway, I'm not going to go into that again. I think I covered that comprehensively. But yeah, Joshua's a grafter. He's the least sparkly in terms of skills, as far as I'm concerned, of all of them. He's the least sparkly. But he has the trait that I love the most. He's a grafter, and he's not afraid like the others. The others are afraid to consistently fight top-ranked opponent. Joshua is not. We don't know about Ruiz yet. But of the others, of the other 2, Joshua is not. Well, I'm not going to get into another topic. It's now 1 a.m. in the UK. Man's got work. Man's got work. This is our last topic now. So it's just a question of going around the table for the last time. And anybody talk about, say anything you forgot to say, wanted to say, didn't get to say. You can say it right now. We're going to start off with, where's James? James.
Yeah, I think it's been very good. AJ was the perfect person. As in, he had the look, stature, where he come from, London, and everything, and he got the success he wanted, and that's where Tyson Fury couldn't get it because of his background and the fact that he's not a very likable person. Really, probably doesn't help it. He had it. You got Dillian White. Dillian White in the same. He's not as likable as AJ. AJ's sit in the back and he'll talk his talk and he'll walk his walk and he'll do his bit and he'll do whatever. And that's why I think he's come so big. A cultural icon, isn't he?
He's a cultural icon. He's become a cultural icon. Yeah. He has. Do you think looks play a part? Do you think because AJ is more handsome than Fury that played a part in his popularity?
I'd say I look at him and I think bloody hell, he's a big massive man with big muscles, and I think, God, look at Tyson Fury and you think, well, there's a clear winner here. Yeah. Just going off by before, maybe people don't know anything. They go big massive guy, big massive muscles. Yeah. He's built up to the hills and whatever. Yeah. But other fighters, and they're not like that, but go off by that as well, don't you?
Well, I think we see that with Ruiz, don't we? We see that with Ruiz. Aesthetics. That's the last question. That's the last question of it all. Does aesthetics play a part Does aesthetics play a part in is aesthetics and ingredients in this whole mix?
It's everything.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it's everything, but it's certainly. Can we rule it? We can't rule it out as an ingredient in this whole crazy mix. We're trying to find out the different attributes of each individual and what makes one man pop and another man not. Because listen, Fury. I said I wasn't going to do another subject, but this is just a rounding off subject. Fury beat Klitschko and it didn't move the needle. Joshua beat Klitschko and it moved the world.
Fury did though, didn't he? He'd come out and he started harassing the gays and stuff, and he was gonna be the best of British. He was nominated for the best of British Sportsman of the Year thing.
Yeah,
but then he got taken off it because he started insulting gays and stuff. It's very against that. You can't do that nowadays. And I think that's what Tyson's had his problems. You know, and that's why
that wasn't the only thing he did, though. Surely that wasn't the only thing. I mean,
he's done loads of things, hasn't he?
He's done loads of things. So we can't just say it's about the gays. He said something about the gays, and you know,
he's
say that.
Can I ask you all three a question?
Go on then.
Tyson Fury's fights. Do you watch them back? And if you do, is it a punishment or do you enjoy it?
Very boring. Half the time, very boring.
It took me
AJ's fights.
It took me 2 years to build up the courage after what I'd heard about the Klitschko Fury v Klitschko fight. It took me 2 years to build up the courage to watch it.
AJ's fights. Do you watch them back?
I didn't watch the last one back, but yeah, I'm happy to watch them back.
Even the last one's
I've never watched
spectacle.
It's
a spectacle.
Yeah.
That's got to be a factor. Tyson Fury's style's not selling anything to anybody.
Well, he's a lot like Klitschko, and that's the problem, isn't it?
He's worse. At least Klitschko could knock people out. Tyson Fury is a tall, fat giant playing Tig.
Big boys boxing. Is Tyson Fury's style of fighting a turnoff? And and if so, has that prevented him from accelerating the way Anthony Joshua did?
I think there's a few contributing factors to why Tyson Fury isn't as popular.
Yeah, run it.
Yeah, firstly, he's ugly. Secondly, his smart-ass demeanor outside of the ring and talking so much BS doesn't bode well for him at times.
Yeah.
And to a casual fan, I'm not saying that in an insulting way, but a guy who doesn't knock everybody out isn't as appealing to a casual boxing fan. Possibly more so to somebody who's more hardcore and appreciates boxing skill. Yeah, they like to watch it. But he has the potential from what he does in the ring to be a superstar, but he keeps sabotaging himself, in my opinion. As for going back in...
Hold on, John. Hold on. I know what you're gonna say, but I want Big Boy's Jock Boxing to finish his hypothesis first.
As for fights that I'd go back and watch, there are a few fights of Joshua's that I'd go back and watch, like the Charles Martin fight was one.
Yeah.
The Parker fight was one.
Yeah.
The Povetkin fight was one.
That's a big one.
And
it's one of my favorites.
I've watched Ruiz fight many times over to make analysis. Tyson Fury, I go back and watch the Klitschko fight. I watched the Dereck Chisora 2 fight. And I also go back and watch the first John McDermott fight, where he had a really bad performance to try and figure out a lot of his weaknesses.
Yeah.
So I like watching both kinds of boxers. You know, I like watching boxers, and I do like watching guys who knock everybody out as well.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Everybody has a preference.
Yeah.
I just love heavyweight boxing all round. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm a bit different to others.
Yeah. Do you think his fight style though to the masses is a turnoff?
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like John said, he's a big fat slob playing tick.
You see, the thing is, I've been a boxing fan from childhood, and did a bit myself over a period of many years. And so not just a fan, but someone who has a technical eye. And you see, Fury just didn't appeal to me. It just never appealed. There's got to be a reason. He never called me. He never called me in. There was no appeal. He never called me in. That could be a heightest thing, because I associate the tallest people in sports, to which height is an advantage. Some of the tallest people, they're not necessarily the most skilled, and I think that kind of repelled me in some of the in MMA, with your Stefan Struves of the world, who are very tall but not the most skilled, but they could still win based on length. Your Semi Schiltz, same category. And I may have made some assumptions about this tall geezer called Tyson Fury. Now, it turns out he does have skills. He does have a triple jab. He does have foot movement. But I think a lot of it's down to feints. And I think that, you see, I'm opening a can of worms now, and I don't want to do that. But, a lot of the perception of Tyson Fury winning the Wilder fight, and I believed he was going to win. That's why I bought the ticket to the fight. I ended up selling the ticket, but I did buy a ticket. Still got the receipts. I believe that he was going to use his skill to win that fight. But I didn't think he was going to get knocked down twice and get up on the count of 9 on both occasions. I didn't think that was going to happen. And I think that a lot of the perception of Tyson Fury winning that fight is down to a lot of his jinking and a lot of his feints, perhaps more so than the punches that he actually landed. Bombshell. I need one of those bomb sounds, John Dealey.
I love technical boxing.
I love technical boxing. One of
my favorite fights to watch is Kovalev beating Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah.
Skills. As a display of control of distance and jab. It's amazing.
Skills. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah. I don't like Sugar Ray Leonard.
I don't like him as a
person. I agree.
Watching him fight
was silky smooth.
Silky.
I like Floyd, to be honest. I enjoy watching Floyd fight. My favourite one is the Ricky Hatton fight, but I still like watching him fight.
The referee scored that one for me, but carry on. I understand. Whereas Sugar Ray Leonard to me was the complete Mayweather. The complete Mayweather, because he kept on throughout his career. Forget about the retirements and coming back. Sugar Ray Leonard was the full package, because he had the silky, smooth defense and he had the killer attack.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you could say you can't see it, so it's difficult. The old footage that I've seen of Sugar Ray Robinson fighting, it's too difficult to see. But when you break it down in slow-mo, he had the same thing. He could put people away.
Yes, he had the same thing. He was the forerunner.
He could put people away.
Yeah.
But he got all the skill.
Yes, he's the complete package. But to me, in my lifetime, the complete package was Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah,
for me.
Well,
but to you,
I was lucky with those fights because they were on Grandstand. Was it Grandstand?
Grandstand.
They were repeated on Grandstand.
They were on TV. They were on basic TV. Satellite TV was not in existence. Certainly not in England. Over in America, you had cable and all kinds of nonsense, but we had 3 channels and the boxing was on the TV. You just paid your TV license, if the government were lucky. You paid your TV license.
Raphie.
And you got everything on TV.
But for me, Tyson Fury can't be a star in boxing because his style is a turn-off.
Yep.
His smack talking is never backed up in the ring.
Nope.
The whole build-up to the Wilder fight, he was going to knock him out. The whole build-up to the Klitschko fight, he was going to knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, did he throw a single punch that had any chance of knocking either of those fighters out? I don't think so. And he's a very ugly man. So you've got Anthony
backing
Joshua.
me up. He's ugly.
Anthony Joshua, I'm sure most women don't know he's actually lost a fight. And even if they found out, they wouldn't care. His popularity with the women is astronaut. I've never known it. A boxer is popular with women.
You're 50%, isn't it? That's why.
What did you say? 50%?
You got the other 50. He's the only boxer that's really got the other 50% going.
What's the 50%?
The world, the 50% of the world, isn't it?
Oh,
women.
You got women.
The women. Oh yeah. I was wondering what you meant there. Yeah.
I've the amount of older ladies not interested in sport that I know and who AJ is.
Yeah.
All the young girls know who he is.
Yeah,
they all love him.
Definitely.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
And to me, he's like a cross between Joe Louis and the first George Foreman.
Yeah.
He's got the good guy, good-looking, clean-cut image of Joe Louis.
Yeah.
With the sort of skill set and sort of physical presence of George Foreman.
Yeah. So
and that's why he's beatable. I mean, he's beatable, but he's fun.
Yes,
he's fun.
Yes.
And he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's fun. He's a nice guy. He might not be the best, but he's grafting. He's working at it. He's a work in progress. He's a work in progress. He is inclusive. Everybody can like him if you want to like him. And personally, I think he's a bit too nice. Should stop being so nice. But there you have it. I think he Tyson Fury, if you see, I like skills, I like style, I like skills, I like skillful boxing, but Tyson Fury didn't draw me in. Tyson Fury didn't draw me in. He did not. So for all the skill that he has, I mean, he must have skill because that's why I thought he was going to beat Deontay Wilder. So I acknowledge he's got skill, but I thought he was going to be finicky. It's a finicky type of skill. It's not like it's finicky. It's like, oh, I'm going to slip that up. Oh, come on, you big dusser. Most of Tyson Fury's most entertaining. This is what I'll finish with, and then I'll go around. Everybody else finish on what they want to finish on. I'll finish with this. Tyson Fury is more entertaining out of the ring than he is in the ring. James.
I said Tyson Fury is not. I don't know if nationalism is that a word? And he's like, he doesn't really. Yeah, AJ. He says he's where he's from. He says he's from the UK. Everyone knows that. Tyson Fury, like you see him prancing around.
He was Mexican last week.
Yeah, you see him Mexican. He was American the other week. He's not.
Yeah.
You can't look at him and think, oh, he's one of our own. He's just, I don't know what he is. Some kind of cross between a Mexican and an American and a UK person.
Yeah.
That is just trying so hard but failing so hard at the same time. To get that audience.
I say Tyson Fury is more entertaining outside of the ring than inside the ring. What say you?
Yeah, he's definitely outside the ring. Like the wrestling thing he just did, the stunt that he pulled. That's a bit of fun, isn't it?
I'll make a video on that, but we're not going to get into that now because I haven't analysed it, to be honest with you. I've just seen clips of it. I'm a busy man. Big boys boxing. Tyson Fury is more entertaining outside of the ring than inside of the ring. That is what I'm saying. What say you?
Yep, that's his best attribute. Simple as that. Hey, Yeah, he can box. He can play Tig in the ring.
Yeah.
But he is a big, fat, ugly dosser with a big mouth.
Bloody hell, we always get there with Tyson Fury. You see, listen, people. I always see him as if I hate Tyson Fury. I do not hate Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury frustrates me because he's not a grafter. He's not a grafter. You look at the fighters of old and include Anthony Joshua. They fight. The fighters I admire. The fighters I admire fight the best. They fight the best of their era. Big boys boxing.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see him fight the top guys. I've had enough of this cherry-picked, he's unbeaten, you never know what could happen fights, even though they've achieved nothing. So I'm looking forward to that Wilder fight, and if he wins it, maybe we'll see something actually happen from there. But
if he wins it, you got to give him credit.
Oh yeah,
probably retire
for sure.
anyway.
Yeah.
Probably never see him again.
Yeah, we'll probably never see him again because I'm thinking he's going to switch to wrestling. That's a different show. We're not going to open that can of worms.
Anyway, fellas, my phone's about to die, so appreciate you having me on, Raphie.
Thank you.
Good chat.
Always a pleasure as usual.
Good chat.
Yeah, man.
Nice
All right, take it easy, fellas.
Much appreciated. That was Big Boys Boxing. He's got his own channel. Go check him out. And then there were three. I suppose I got to put it to you, John, bro. I already know what you're going to say. I already know your answer. Tyson Fury is more entertaining outside of the ring than he is inside of the ring.
He's more entertaining in the ring when it's a WWE ring.
And I mean that's
back to the worms, but I think he's found his niche.
He may have found his niche, and it wouldn't surprise me if he made a transition. But that's a different show. We're not going to get into that. So, you see, my thing with Tyson, because I'm always bashing him. I understand that. I'm always bashing him. Whenever his name's brought up, I bash him. I understand that, and that is the truth. But the reason for that is that my favorite fighters, they fight the best of their era. And I'm afraid Tyson Fury doesn't fit into that category. Deontay Wilder doesn't fit into that category. But Anthony Joshua, that's what he does. And that's what he's prepared to do. So to me, that makes him a cut. I'm not going to say above, but a cut apart from your Wilder and your Fury. And with that, has anybody got any final words? Because that was my final word.
That's everything, I think.
Yeah, that's everything from James. John?
Yeah, it's been a fun show.
It's been
My final word is I'm really pleased they brought Pricey in to fight Dereck. It's going to be a great fight.
I totally feel the same way. I'm an advocate of that fight. James, you feel the same way?
Yep, definitely. Most 100%.
Definitely, we're all in agreement with that. Let me see. Oh, the chat has moved. Let me just click on a few comments here. Super fights and watch those fights live on TV. Let me see. Wilder saw the resume comparison. Joshua's 22nd fight would have been for undisputed. Wilder's 22nd fight was against a cruiserweight, James Altman. And Altman dived. Well, that ain't good. I'm off tomorrow, Raphie. You can go on for hours. Well, I'm not off tomorrow, Philip Carl Roberts. It's good to have you. Congratulations to White Master Chef. He got 4th. Oh, damn it, James. I was going to watch that tomorrow. Just a joke. I have to be honest. I've watched 1 or 2 fights back. McDermott one and the Wilder one. As for the rest, forget it. You forgot Raphie Fury also has scar tissue. I am aware of that. I had 4 channels in Wales. One was a crap Welsh one as well. His wife might disagree about being more entertaining outside of the ring. I think he's great in the WWE. It was funny. I haven't really watched the footage yet. Just sub to Big Boys. Ask him what the prize is for the 760th sub. You'll have to go and ask him yourself, mate. Ask him on his channel. Altman's dived Raphie. It's on YouTube. Crowd booed. That ain't good. Okay. And the drums of the song in the background indicate that we have come to the end of the show. It's been 3 hours, 10 minutes of lively boxing talk for your delectation. We were joined by Big Boys Boxing. We were joined by a guy with just one name, James. And we're joined by John D. Lee, in-house talent. And we've said everything we need to say. We said everything we needed to say, and perhaps more. We've chucked it up. I was entertained. Good new addition of James coming on, speaking his mind, and most of all, best of all, he's not a weirdo. At least not outwardly. We never know. You need to know a person for a while to find out, you know, what they're, how weird they can be. But hopefully we don't find that out.
The moment, you know.
Yeah. What did you say,
the rats
James?
running around. So I'm in the basement with the rats and that.
Oh dear. Okay.
Light and everything.
I get the feeling James is actually Eminem, just putting on an English accent. I don't know why I get that visual. You ever been to Detroit, James?
No, never been out of the country.
He's lying. He's just come straight in from Detroit. Okay, guys, thank you very much. James, the man with one name, John Dealey, in-house talent. And I, myself, Raphael Dawkins, is the Combat Radio. And you guys who come and enjoy the chat, contribute to the chat. It's the PED. And the man like Philip Carl Roberts from Wales. And it's the man from America. Bat-ish crazy. We got Last One. I have no idea where Last One is from. Maybe you'll tell us in the chat and I'll remember that for next time. We had Sub Skrilla in the building. I know he does a night shift. We had Brooklyn Child. Stop ducking me, son. Get on the show. What is this? What is this guy? CMC. Something was up with AJ. Yeah, quite possibly. Okay. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comment. It's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. I lost my thread now. I'll use and notifications. Okay. And smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. And if you want to see Raphie, go visit Nigel Benjamin Ben Button. Then don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to smash that PayPal button. You know, for less than a price of a beer. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the Boxing Talk with Raphie, and we are out. Blessed.
All right, see ya.
Take care.